This is Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350. Let's head to the field and join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mankato, Minnesota for today's NCAA playoff game. The Thunderwolves have made the playoffs, and they're taking on the Mavericks of Minnesota State. It's a cold, blustery day, but the sun is shining. And I guess all things considered, Joe, you'll take a cold, blustery day as long as you're playing football in November.
Absolutely. You can't do anything about the weather, so you just play it. Both teams are playing in it. I'll tell you right now, judging by the banners across the way and the flags in the ends of the wind, which is a nationwide concern today for all divisions of football, the wind is going to come into play today. So whether you kick off and accept the ball or take the wind, or there's going to be some strategy involved with the kicking game, the punting games, the wind is going to be a factor. Yeah, depending on which weather app you've got. Joe's got 30, I got 32. Wind chill is down in the teens. Wind's blowing about 18 to 20 miles an hour. And blowing basically directly across from left to right as we're looking at the field here. So it's definitely going to be a factor in the game as far as the kicking game. Without question. We've got two really good kickers here, and I've been watching them warm up. And Benarski from Minnesota State has got one of the best legs in the country, and he wasn't getting it very far. And Mitch Carter was warming up with the wind, and he looked like Steve Austin, the $6 million man, kicking out of the end zone. So it's definitely a factor. Well, you mentioned him. 21 out of 22 this year. He's kicked a 63-yarder, 18 out of 19 he is on the year. 63-yarder is his longest. So he is definitely a weapon out there, and we talked about it. It reminds us of games, past playoff games for the Thunderwolves down in Wichita Falls when they played Midwest State. That was crucial. The Thunderwolves jumped off to a big lead early because they had the wind in that first quarter. And then conversely, the game the next week against Grand Valley, they botched the coin toss and had to go not only give up the ball but go into the win in that first quarter. That was crucial. Well, I mean, Grand Valley State took the opening play and just threw it up in the air and ran under it for a touchdown. And again, you're going to have to play 2 quarters into it and 2 quarters with it. So how that factors into when you the coin toss, or whether you're behind at half or ahead at half, it's gonna come down to that. Well, it was interesting. The Thunderwolves did make this field. It was borderline. Came down to probably them and Humboldt State getting the final. Oh, actually, if Humboldt State would jump to 8, then Minnesota Duluth gets in. If the Thunderwolves stay at 8, then they got the earned access, and so that was kind of a dicey situation there. And of course, on the other side, Minnesota State, they felt like they should be off this week. They were number 1 going into last week's games. They defeated Sioux Falls, and yet they dropped. And they're a little upset about that up here, a little exercised about that. They feel like they should have had the bye this week. And who's to blame? You look at their body of work. They beat 3 teams that are in the regional playoff. Right. I mean, they have that on their resume, and we know from past experience Minnesota State's a very good football team. They're not just a good football team; they're a good football program. And if you look at their roster, they're going to be good for a couple more years under Todd Hoffner. This is a pretty young team. But if you're Csu-Pueblo, you got to thank Minnesota State for winning at Sioux Falls last week, because that was one of the 4 things that had to happen last week for them to get in the playoffs, and it did. And the other side note to this ball game, of course, it is a rematch of the 2014 national championship game played in Kansas City. The Thunderwolves won 13-0. Not enough players out here. There's a handful on each ball club that have memories of that ball game, but still the programs are back at it again. Yeah, not a revenge game, so to speak. I do know that you and I were both in Kansas City, along with some of my Chieftain friends, and Minnesota State kind of overlooked Pueblo. They walked around the city all week, and they were in packs, and they took advantage of the scenery, and in all the press conferences they didn't think it was going to be much of a game, and Csu-Pueblo thought differently, and obviously that's what happened. But I know that's not going to happen this week. Yeah, talking to Todd Hoffner on Wednesday for about an hour, he said that that will not happen again. Yeah, there's that expression, loaded for bear. Well, they're loaded for Thunderwolves this week for sure. We'll come back after this timeout. We'll talk to the head coach, John Riston. That all comes your way next. Thunderwolves pregame show continues on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to the Thunderwolves pregame show. And joining me now, head coach John Riston. John, we've made it.
Yeah, we're here. We're talking November, the week before Thanksgiving. That means our season is extended.
Well, and you sometimes you get what you wish for, and sometimes what you wish for is not really the best, but we're going to go with it.
Well, we got a great opportunity, and we got to go play the very best, and I have a lot of respect for Minnesota State Mankato. I just call them Mankato. Right. So I really have, they run their program right. I have a lot of respect for Todd, and I'm looking forward to going up there.
Well, you do have familiarity with them. You've played them before. All the names have changed, but the uniforms are the same, and the schemes are pretty much the same. It kind of helps a little bit.
Well, they're going all gold uniforms. We didn't see them when they played, so the schemes are a little bit changed. They still got a very good football team, well coached, and this is a mirror image of each other. I really think their defense is spectacular. Their offense runs the ball. Their quarterback throws the deep ball as good as anybody around, and we got to be on point, and we got to execute with excellence.
Well, they stop the run. That's the key thing that jumps out at you. Only 70 yards a game they allow. You guys stop the run as well. They like to run a little bit. You like to run it. So it's going to be a battle of wills there, isn't it?
It is, and especially with the wind supposed to be howling at 30 miles per hour out of the northwest, and we're going to have to be creative in our run game, and we're going to have to be able to creative and are taking some shots. And we just got to get this game to the fourth quarter. We can get this game to the fourth quarter. Give us a chance. We got enough playmakers to let that happen.
Yeah, even with the wind blowing the way it is, doesn't mean the passing game's completely gone. You just got to pick your spots and take the right plays.
Yeah, more playoff games, more big games are lost than won. And what I mean by that is that if you get the game to the fourth quarter, you got a chance to go win it. And sometimes you lose it before you even have a chance in the fourth quarter. And so our job is to keep it in play, keep playing hard, keep being fundamental sound, and let's go see where the chips fall. And our guys have been focused all week. We've had a great week of practice. I felt the energy getting off the bus on Saturday at 10:30 here after they knew we had a chance. And it even picked up on Sunday at 3 o'clock when we met about the playoffs. So, we're really excited to go play a great Mankato team.
Well, it says a lot about your ball club, because that midway point when you dropped that second game, I mean, it could have folded up the tents, just coasted on in here, but they really picked up their play.
Yeah, we got our character revealed a little bit, as I said in there, and so, but we also revealed our character, and we're able to bounce back. Sometimes life deals you some blows that you got to respond, and these guys responded and believed in what we were doing, and I think it's awesome to be able to have that ability to be able to go and be successful, because that's what successful people do. They respond, and this team is a special team, and I'm looking forward to seeing it play in playoff football.
Well, on an individual note, the quarterback, Rex Dowson, there's a guy that was just going to keep the job for a little bit till the injured player got back, and then, all of a sudden, he decided, I think I kind of like this job. I want to keep it. And he kind of took the reins.
He hasn't let go, and that's making the most of your opportunity. Max it out, and he's taken that, and very proud of him. And he could have folded his tent at the beginning of the year, and he seized the moment, and proud of him.
Well, the big matchup in this ball game, I guess, comes down to the offense and defensive lines of both teams. Who manages to control the line of scrimmage? I don't think you're going to have your way all day long, but who imposes their will a little bit more?
You just got to be patient. And you're gonna, there's going to be not always targeted right. They're going to beat you in a couple plays, and again, you just got to get it to a chance to go win it. And so that's our goal, and we're going to go out and have some fun.
Well, and defensively, if you look at one player that gets picked on a lot, but he always answers the challenge, Emory Taylor, a little smallish at cornerback, but you call him a pit bull, and he's probably going to get the challenge in this ball game with those big, tall wide receivers. They're going to be coming at him.
It's going to be fun to watch him play, because he could be nipping at their shins, nipping at their heels, and he's going to be a little nuisance to him. And he's a great kid and a great competitor, and he's going to find a way to be successful.
All right, let's go get a win.
Let's go Pack.
All right, Thunderbolts head coach John Riston back with more of our pregame show right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back here here in Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves getting set to do battle with the Mavericks of Minnesota State. A few hardy Thunderwolf fans have made the trip in here, looking across the way, and they're in for a nice, long, cold afternoon. At least they're in the sunshine, Joe. I guess you could say that.
Jim, we're going to use the word hardy a lot today, and I think that's just a Midwestern term for crazy.
Exactly.
It is. I mean, these people, they love football. They respect the game. That's what I love about Minnesota State. You come and you see their facility. You see the way they take care of their field. You see the way they approach the game. You talk to their coaches. They respect Division II football in much the same way as a Csu-Pueblo or a Colorado Mesa, or the teams at the higher level that respect the game. So their fans, they're ready to watch a good college football game.
Well, it's unusual in the fact that we come to a place where football isn't king. Hockey's king here, and last night took in the hockey battle as Nick Burns and Paul Allen, the two SID guys here, gracious enough to give us tickets, and Dax gave me a ticket. Dax Larson, former stomping grounds here. He's an alum of Minnesota State, and 4,000 people at a hockey game last night against Bowling Green, and it was crazy atmosphere.
People actually pay to go indoors to be cold to watch sports. Haven't figured that out yet. But
yeah, the only sport you go and wear a jacket.
It's big here in Minnesota, but I passed. I had a long day of travel yesterday, so I didn't go to the hockey game. But it feels like we're ice rink.
Yeah, exactly. You could lay a sheet of ice out there tonight. And they have a lot of success in a lot of other sports up there. They won a softball title here, I think, a year ago, so they get after it a little bit in Division II.
Well, and you're talking to some people up here. They recruit from Minnesota, some Iowa, a lot of Wisconsin. There's only one Division I university in Wisconsin, and there's not any Division IIs. So what a fertile ground of players from up in that area. And you come from Wisconsin, you want to play football, you're probably pretty good.
Exactly right. We'll come back. We'll have the keys to victory for today's ball game as we wind our way toward kickoff. It's the Thunderwolves pregame show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota, as we get ready for the playoffs. Getting ready to start here. Thunderwolves taking on the Mavericks of Minnesota State. Couple of late additions to the roster today for Minnesota State. Their top two running backs have been injured here of late, Nate Gunn and Justin Taramina, but they're both going to play, and they're both 1,000-yard rushers, so it's going to be a good addition for them today.
You didn't think they were not going to play?
I didn't think so. When they put out that 2 deep, it's like, oh, come on, quit snowing us.
We've seen enough of that. It's not snowing here, but it feels like it. But you knew they were both going to play today. And
Nate Gunn on the year, averaging 7 yards a carry, has 10 touchdowns. His running mate, Taramina, he has 10 touchdowns as well. He's not quite 1,000-yard rusher. I short-changed it, 976. So he's close enough. I guess we can round up to make it that way. But they'll definitely be in the lineup. They will be key in this ball game today. Speaking of keys to victory for today. First for the Thunderwolves, Joe.
Jim, I think they got to establish the run. You got a senior offensive line. We talk about it all year. You got some heavy packages with the tight ends. You have Marche Denard and Austin Meach. You got to establish the run, and you cannot give up on it. The ground game is going to be so important. Minnesota State is excellent up front defensively. They're excellent up front offensively. But if you can't move them off the ball a little bit and establish the run, you're going to be in trouble. For Minnesota State to, we'll say, avenge their loss in 2014. They'd like to get back at the Thunderwolves. What do they have to do to win the ball game today? Well, they have a quarterback in Schlichty who's a local kid here. But he's only a sophomore. He's a hometown guy, and he's got to play well. He's played well. He's played well enough to earn the job and to be the guy. But this is a different kind of environment, a different kind of team he's faced. I don't know that he's seen the speed of a defense that he's going to see. Csu-Pueblo may not be the biggest team Minnesota State has seen, but I guarantee you they'll be one of, if not the fastest. That's for sure. And one of the other things we haven't mentioned yet, this is not a field turf. It's a natural surface here at Mankato, but it's not any ordinary natural grass surface. No, it's heated. They had it covered. It's beautiful. It plays like turf, even though it's grass. And Todd Hoffner said that there was talk about going to turf. It's a lot easier to maintain, but they have a great groundskeeper and a grounds crew here, and they take pride in being a little bit different up here in a colder climate. So they're going to stay with the natural grass. And one other thing we haven't mentioned here, this is now the former training facility of the Minnesota Vikings. They're moving out. They've been here for a long time, but they've built their own facility down in the Twin Cities, and people are kind of depressed about that up here, rightfully so. Well, it's like when Denver left Greeley. Right. It was kind of your trademark is you always go to camp there, and you laugh at it. But these Division II schools, they made a living out of that for a long time. I think one of the things we haven't noticed, Jim, is that CSU-Pueblo's locker room is not in the stadium. It's across the street. There's probably 200 yards between where they have to go to get warm in the locker room and dress than the field, and they're coming across the street now. This is like a main street that they're
exactly. It's no ordinary boulevard.
People driving down the street say, "Excuse me." There's, you could have a sign that says "Bear Crossing" or
"It's a herd of Thunderwolves."
This is the Thunderwolf Crossing,
and they are making their way in. We'll come back. We'll give you the pregame weather conditions. That all comes your way next. Thunderwolves pregame show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Mankato, Minnesota, here at Blakeslee Stadium, and the Mavericks are making their way out onto the field. Standing ovation from their partisan crowd. Thunderbolts already across the way as we look across the stadium here. And the temperature, Joe, it's warming up. We got a heat wave. It's up to 35. Expecting a high today of 36. That's when we can take our jackets off. Wind out of the west-northwest, 22 miles an hour. The feels like index is 24 degrees. No chance of precipitation today. The sun's going to shine all afternoon long for today's ball game. I'm ready for it. You ready?
Absolutely. If I was Minnesota State, I'd find somebody who sings the national anthem so slow that it takes like 6 minutes, so that all the warming up you just did is for naught.
Yeah, the old 2-minute version of the anthem. That'd be
throw in an extra verse or two.
All right. Well, we usually make our way out on the field before the ball game. Today we kind of nixed that. Rightfully, right?
Well, we had so much to do beforehand.
That might be one of the best decisions we made all day. We'll come back. We'll have the opening kickoff as well as the starting lineups. That all comes your way next. Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo.
CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota. We're ready for football. Let's give you the starting lineups. Joel, keep an eye out on the coin toss. Thunderwolves will introduce their defense today. At the cornerbacks, it'll be Darius Williams, 6 foot, 195-pound junior out of Gilbert, Arizona, along with Emery Taylor, 5'9", 162-pound sophomore out of Aurora's Columbine High School. The safeties, do that every time. I got to update my board. Tanner Draper, 6'3", 200-pound sophomore out of Amarillo, Texas. The other safety is Natu Hestius. He is a 6'2", 194-pound junior out of Santa Rosa, California. The linebackers, Nora Shangolo. He's a 6'1", 181-pound junior out of Commerce City. Went to Adams City High School. Quinn Vadenkoppel, 6 foot, 225-pound junior out of Castle Rock, went to Riza Jesuit. The inside linebacker, Brandon Pear, 6'4", 248-pound junior out of Pine, Colorado, went to Conifer High School. James Maxey, 6'1", 222-pound sophomore out of Parker, went to Ponderosa High. The defensive ends, Josh Croy, 6'4", 260-pound senior out of Littleton, went to Columbine High. Right defensive end, Michael Riston, 6'4", 248-pound junior out of Broomfield, Colorado. And Deion Sizer, 6'4", 283-pound junior out of Aurora's Eagle Crest High School. He is the nose guard. John Riston is the head coach, proud class of 84 member of CSU Pueblo. Offense for Minnesota State, they'll go this way. Their do-it-all quarterback, Ryan Schlichte, 6'1", 205-pound sophomore. He's a hometown boy right out of Mankato. The starting tailback, Nate Gunn, 6'3", 215-pound sophomore out of Minooka, Illinois. The wide receivers, Ty Dennis, 6'4", 220-pound senior out of Burlington, Wisconsin. Justin Arnold, 6'1", 200-pound sophomore out of Chaska, Minnesota. And Shane Zylstra, he's a 6'4", 215-pound sophomore out of Spicer, Minnesota. The tight end, Trevor Nissen, he's a 6'4", 255-pound junior out of Olivia, Minnesota. The tackles will be Evan Heim, 6'4", 300-pound sophomore out of DePerry, Wisconsin, along with Boyd Drager, 6'5", 305-pound sophomore out of Lakeville, Minnesota. The guards, Max Stewart and Hunter Topple. The centers, Jake Porter. Joe, what happened on the coin toss?
Jim, I may be mistaken, but CSU Pueblo won the toss and deferred. Minnesota State took the ball. CSU Pueblo has the wind at their back. So they'll kick off with the wind at their back, but they'll have the wind at their back to start the game, and they'll get the ball in the second half.
Okay, there we go. So Thunderwolves will move it left to right as we look at it. Failed to mention Todd Hoffner is the head coach of Minnesota State. He's in his 8th year. He's had a lot of success here. Of course, he was the head coach when they went to the national championship game against the Thunderwolves, but lost.
He's wearing a vest. And a little bit of sleeves there. It's not. I think he's just showing that he's a tough guy. He had to shave his head earlier this year, Jim. They beat Duluth, and that was a
it was a head shave day.
It was a call out by his team, and he made good on it.
Now kicking off, as always, for the Thunderwolves, Mitch Carter back deep to receive. Brent and Williams for Minnesota State. Kick doesn't get to the end zone. Stops at the 1-yard line across the 10. 15-20, trying to get outside, and a big stop right there at the 20-yard line for the Thunderwolves. They slowed him down, and then Jamal Sears finished him off. So that's where the Mavericks will start this first drive of the game. They're going to give him forward progress to the maybe the 22-yard line, it looks like.
We are at 700 feet, almost compared to Pueblo, it's sea level.
Ball starts out on the right hash mark. And indeed it is Gunn. They didn't have him on the depth chart this week, but he's out there to play tailback. And Schlichty will be up under center here. The tight ends both shift to the right side of the formation here. Kind of a mirror image of the Thunderwolves. They're going to run the ball off the right side. Gunn puts his head down, and he wedges his way out across the 25, out to around the 28. Then a guard comes in and blasts one of the Thunderwolves after the play is over. The officials say, hey, don't do that again. So a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Mavericks.
We love playoff officials.
Yeah, just
let them play.
Yeah, just kind of almost like they said, don't do that again.
Yeah,
okay?
Just let them play.
Ball still on the right hash mark. Wide receiver comes left. That's Dennis. They got a receiver in the slot to the right now. Both tight ends shift to the right side. And again, it's Gunn off the right side. Puts his head down. He's got the first down and more. He's into the secondary across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. It's their version of the heavy package, Joe, where they line up both tight ends over on that right side, much like the Thunderwolves do, and they get big yardage.
Running right at Josh Croy, the undersized guy on that defensive line. Running Trevor Filio, one of the outside linebackers on that side.
Very key drive here early in the game. When you're working into the win, when you have it on offense, you want to, first of all, get some first downs, and then, man, if you can score, it's a huge bonus. Single wide out each side. Again, the tight end's on the left side this time. Now they bring a man in motion toward the formation. They're going to give it off the right side to Gunn again. This time he's hit, but he's pushed the pile forward for a couple. Almost gets it out to the 40-yard line. So a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. He's a powerful back. Now we got a man lost his lid there. Josh Croy lost his helmet, so he'll have to come out of the game for a play.
Well, if you think he's an undersized defensive end, his replacement, Jackson Wills, is even littler.
Yeah, this is that deal where it's the big team against the fast team. Thunderwolves are the speedsters. Going to go to the shotgun for the first time. Schlichty takes the snap. He's going to roll the pocket. Here comes pressure. Looks like he might run it. He tucks it. Gets across the 40, 45, 50. And he's down to the 45-yard line of the Thunderwolves. Once he made his move, he made a nice cut, got up the field, and into Thunderwolves territory.
Brandon Payer whiffed, and you will never, ever hear that again. He whiffed on the he's the best player in the RMAC defensively, and he whiffed.
So 1st and 10 for the Mavericks. They're at the 45-yard line of the Thunderwolves. They're going to go wide out to each side. Single back. Looks like Taramina's in there for the first time. He takes a handoff. He's blasted. As Sizer worked off his block and throws him for a yard loss. Taramina that time kind of hesitated. He was almost guilty of a false start there, it looked like to me.
Little lean.
A little shuffle of the feet there before the snap.
Well, that was the same formation they ran the other side with Gunn. This time they tried it at Sizer and Michael Risson, which are a little bit bigger on that side of the defense.
So it's 2nd and 11 from the Thunderwolves' 46-yard line. No score here early on. First drive of the game for the Mavericks. This time they're going to go trips to the right. Bring a man in motion toward the formation. Fake the jet sweep twice. Now they give it up the middle to Gunn. He makes a nice cut. He's down across the 40. Well, they're going to lay him right at the 40 where his knee went down. A gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Nice run there.
Doing a good job of the offensive line getting to the next level and taking on the linebackers.
They gave you that look. They brought the man in motion, faked the jet sweep action to him twice. Before they snap, he gives the illusion that they're going to stick it in his belly. Runs right by the backside of the quarterback. Did it again. Trips again to the right. Tight end is to the right. Bring a man in motion toward the formation. And they run the draw play. And the Thunderwolves have Gunn. He leans forward for about 3 down to the 37. It's going to be 4th down and 2. And you know they'll go for it right here. They're not going to gain anything by... They got a great field goal kicker, but you're kicking into a 22-mile-an-hour wind. That isn't going to happen.
They actually gave him a better spot.
Oh, look at that spot all the way down to the 36-yard line. You kidding me?
4th and 1.
That little extra half yard may be crucial here. We'll see. Up under center, Schlichte has Gunn with him in the backfield. Thunderwolves right up on the line of scrimmage here. And they run it up the middle, and Gunn is hit, but he fights forward for the first down. He got hit behind the line of scrimmage, but bounced off and gets it down to the 32-yard line. So a very impressive drive to start this game so far for Minnesota State. Zylstra to the left. They got Dennis to the right here, up under center. Again, they run the draw play to Gunn. He just kind of hesitates and runs down the line of scrimmage. Now it gets it forward inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. Picks up 4. 2nd down and 6. Very patient run that time, allowing his blockers to lean on the Thunderwolves.
Jim, the offensive line for Minnesota State's doing a great job just pushing the 3-4 off the ball a little bit. And Gunn is such a big back, maybe the biggest back Csu-Pueblo's seen all year.
They fudge it forward down to the 27. 2nd and 5. Again, it's Gunn up the middle. He wedges his way forward. He's inside the 25, down to about the 24-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 2 again. They're getting that down and distance they like.
Fun, and don't look for Schlichte to put it up.
Yeah, why?
Why fall for the play action in this wind?
Now Preble into the ball game. The announced starting tailback. He's had the workload the last couple weeks.
But Gunn is still there.
Yeah, they put Preble kind of in a slot. He's the blocking back as Gunn remains the back. This is a very tight formation. Everybody in the box right here. And they give it to Gunn up the middle, and he bounces forward, and he's going to be very, very close to the first down.
The head linesman's going to get his spot. He's going to get it.
They need to get down to the 22-yard line.
Oh, he's just short.
Man, he's going to be short, so it's going to be 4th and about a foot, and they come right up on the line of scrimmage. They don't waste any time here. Oh, and they move on the left side. False start on the Mavericks. As Blake Moreno jumped the gun on the left side that time.
And now he's coming out of the game.
So that's the first major mistake of the ball game. A little 5-yard penalty. They're still going to go for it. It's going to be 4th and 6 now. That changes the play call. Probably see a rollout this time, I'd imagine, from Schlichte. It's going to go double wide out right. Single to the slot here. Kind of tight to the formation where the tight end. Now the tight end shifts to the right side of the formation. From the gun at Schlichte. Straight drop back. Here comes pressure up the middle. Pass, and he sailed it high. Had a man open, and that ball just got away from him. He just sailed high. Pear was coming there on the pressure. I'm not sure if that affected things, but Schlichte had the man, but he just let that pass. Like it blew up, Joe.
Again, the wind, you feel like you got to put a little something on it because you're throwing into that wind, and it just kind of jet streamed it. So that penalty turns out to be huge. And the Thunderwolves take over at their own 27-yard line. Moving with the wind here. We have 8:43 to go in the first quarter. No score. First possession of the game for the Thunderwolves. Rex Dowson, the quarterback. He'll be up under center. Denard is the lone back. They got a wide out to each side. Washington to the right. Looks like Josh Smith to the left. Could be Amon Johnson. There's Dowson. Now Washington goes in motion to the left side of the formation. Long count by Dowson. Takes the snap. Gives it to Marche up the middle. Tries to bounce it. And he's hit immediately. Gets forward for maybe a couple on the play. Out to about the 29-yard line. Gang tackled there. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. We talked to John Riston all week about this, and he likes the tackle matchups. He thinks they can hold their own. That's Keith Head and Ty McCulley. He said the guards, Alex Mitchell and Spencer Nathan in the center, Corbin Finster, are going to have to play the games of their lives inside.
Mon Johnson to the right this time, Smith to the left. Formation. Dowson up under center. The tight ends into the ball game. They're kind of in the slot off the line of scrimmage. They're going to fake the draw play. Dowson rolls right, looks for the tight end, and Boyd had it and dropped it. Could be that cold weather having an effect right there as it just slipped right through the hands of Boyd. He would have been short of the first down, but it would have made it more manageable here on third.
Yeah, he would have been short, but not by much. Now, you don't see Zach Boyd miss too many passes in his hands and maybe turned upfield just a little bit too soon.
So it's 3rd and 8 now for the Thunderwolves. This is definitely the caution zone right here. You want to be careful with that football.
Well, they stand out in the yellow-on-yellow jerseys.
Dowson from the pistol this time. A bunch formation to the left. Single wide out right. Dowson takes the snap. Here comes pressure right up the middle. He gets rid of it. Up the field, incomplete. Trying to find Amon Johnson.
Had to throw that wave sooner than he wanted to.
That'll be 4th down. That was heavy pressure up the middle. They just had more guys coming than the Thunderwolves could block that time. They rushed 6. Thunderwolves only had 5 in there to block. So they outnumbered them. Punt formation.
No, we didn't watch the wind on the long snaps. Andrew Tomlinson, we'll see.
And it goes wide, but Coot is able to chase it down. Rugby style. Look at the wind. Just sail that one inside the 20. Takes a hop inside the 10. All the way down to the 6-yard line. So they flipped the field there with the field position. 65 yards, I believe, on the punt there. My quick math. So it's all the way down to the 6-yard line, and that's where Minnesota State will take over.
Well, if you can't score, at least make them earn it. Tanner Kuda, the left-footed kicker, just got that ball up in the jet stream. And then that rugby style, once it hits.
Yeah, the return man thought about picking it up around the 20, but he thought better. It would have been a tough scoop. So no score here. We're down to 7:44 to go first quarter. Schlichty up under center. Has 2 wideouts to the left this time. Gives it off the gun. Cuts into the hole, and he slips a little bit. Stumbles out to about the 10-yard line. He'll pick up, call it 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
He's gaining 4 yards a carry. Every carry.
Yeah, Thunderwolves really haven't been able to get at him in the backfield. The only time they had a negative play on the grounds when they went to their backup running back when Taramina came in. 2 wideouts to the right. Up under center, Schlichty. Ball right in the middle of the field. They run the draw play, right side of gun, and he is hit. The cornerback that time came flying in there on the corner blitz, or maybe a safety blitz that time. I think it was Jamal Sears came in there, got down low on gun, and it's a loss of a yard. Back to the 9-yard line. So 3rd down and 7. Here's where the pressure comes on the offense. When you're working into the wind, the chance for the Thunderwolves defense to make a statement in this game right here. Get a stop and make them punt it into the wind.
Well, watch Schlichty with his feet on this, Jim.
Taramina's into the ball game. He's on the right hip from the gun. 2 wideouts left. Schlichty takes the snap, straight drop back. Pass over the middle. It's caught, but it'll be well short of the first down. Good coverage that time by Draper as they completed the ball to Dennis, but he caught it at the 14-yard line. He's a 2 yards short of the first down, so it'll be 4th down and 2, and here comes that punting situation into the wind for the Mavericks.
Well, all-conference punter.
Yeah, he's a do-it-all guy. Bednarski punts and does the place kicking. Ribbert stands at midfield. High snap, but he's able to get it. The wind just knocks the ball straight down, hits at the 35, up to about the 40, maybe the 42-yard line before it is down. Flag comes down. Might have roughing here on the Thunderwolves. They are going to call running into the kicker onto the Thunderwolves. It was a high snap. Bednarski did a great job somehow snagging that snap, and here the old penalty bug.
Well, Jim, the Minnesota State had a penalty on their first drive.
Right.
Cost them dearly. Csu-Pueblo just gave up a 3 and out because of a penalty.
And the field position, look, they would have had it at the 42-yard line. Now, it may all still work out if they can get them to stop again here, but, man, it's hard to pass up that kind of field position. So Minnesota State with a fresh set of downs here from their 19-yard line. Schlichty under center. He shifts the tight ends to the right side of the formation. And they give it to a gun. He's hit immediately this time. Troy's got him right at the line of scrimmage. Might have fought forward for a yard.
Josh Gray right there had a blocker, and then he just kind of put his right arm out there and grabbed the running back.
Yeah, he was engaged, and that big meat hook on the right side just came out, and that's strength right there, Joe. You just reach out with one arm and get it back like gun to the ground. So a gain of a yard, 2nd down and 9. No score here, first quarter. Schlichty up under center. 2 wideouts to the right. And they're going to hand it off the left side gun. This time good penetration by the Thunderwolves. Looks like their linebackers and safeties are starting to key, and that was Payer coming in along with Riston to get him down to the ground. But Payer, like a missile that time, flew into the backfield.
Yeah, he got a running start on that. And Gunn's a big guy, so you better get a running start on him.
So it brings up 3rd and 7 again. They weren't able to convert last time, but they got the running into the kicker call, which kept the drive alive. Trips to the right. From the shotgun this time, Schlichty. Makes the snap. He's going to roll to the right. Here comes pressure by Shangolo on the right. He had him. It lost him. Now comes pressure. He just throws it up in the air. It's like a fair catch opportunity, but the wind sails it out of bounds as Schlichty just threw it up for grabs, but it angled toward the sideline.
Jim, the last meeting we heard at the hotel before we left was punt. It was special teams hammer meeting, and we could hear, we were a room away, but we could hear them talking about their punt coverage, punt block, and it's ironic that they get a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, punt formation for Bednarski. Stands at his own 9. This time he handles the snap, gets the punt away. And again, it just hits the wall of wind, and it's going to back up this time. It's going to end up better off for the Thunderwolves as it's down at about the 34-yard line. That ball just went straight up and came backwards. So after all that, it works out for the Thunderwolves. They'll take over at the 34-yard line of Minnesota State.
You know, it works out in the fact that you get better field position, but...
Yeah, now you got to take advantage.
But it also cost your defense 3 more plays that it was on the field.
They're going to open up this time in the shotgun with Michi into the game. He lines up on the left hip of Dowson. Smith and Johnson to the right. O'Shea Washington to the left this time. Smith comes in motion to the left side of the formation. Dowson takes the snap. He looks left, fires it left, and Smith has it, gets upfield, and he's inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. And, Joe, right on our angle, you can just see how the wind affected that throw.
It was a great catch by Josh Smith to corral that all the way down to the 27.
It looked like he had to catch a knuckleball there or a hard slider the way it kind of dived. 2nd down and 3 for the Thunderwolves from the 27-yard line of the Mavericks. 4 minutes to go here. First quarter, no score. Dowson under center this time. Smith comes in motion across the formation to the right. Meets the lone back. He takes the handoff. Angles to the right side. He's hit immediately and goes nowhere. This defensive line, it's a strength of Minnesota State. And flying in there, Evan Parizo.
He only has 11 sacks this year. That's all.
That's going to be a loss of a yard back to the 28-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now for the Thunderwolves. Washington and Smith are going to go out to the left side. Boyd and Morgan Smith, the tight ends, line up on the right side in this formation. Kind of have a heavy package that way. Dowson up under center, takes the snap. A little 5-step drop. Here comes pressure. Looking to get rid of it. Now just sails it toward the sideline and out of bounds. He had to get rid of it. Pressure coming. Thunderwolves could try the field goal here, I suppose, with the wind. Still be a tough kick because it's not directly behind him. It's kind of angling.
See what kind of leg Mitch Carter has.
And it will be a field goal attempt here from the 35. So 45-yard attempt from the right hash. The wind is right behind him, but kind of angling maybe a little to his right here. We'll see how he adjusts here. Good snap. Ball's down. Kick is on the way. Looks good. And it is.
It is.
Good kick there. Thunderwolves get on the board first. 3:01 to go here in the first quarter. Thunderwolves strike first. They lead it 3-0 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Yeah, A good start for the Thunderwolves. They lead it 3-0. Mitch Carter with a 45-yard field goal. And even though you're kicking it with the wind, that was no picnic trying to bang that one through there, because you had to account for that from the right hash mark, and then almost like you're playing a little cut fade there in there when we go to the golfer type analogy. Here's the kick. And it's going to sail to the end zone this time, and it's going to be downed. And that's where Minnesota State, they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line here. But Joe just mentioned that kick by Carter. That was impressive. Because it's a cold ball, too. 45
yards in this wind, because it's, like you said, it's not right behind you. It's almost at an angle. You almost got to account for the slope.
Play the break. Well, Minnesota State, they had that first early drive where they got it down into Thunderwolves territory. That false start penalty, how crucial is that so far in this ball game?
It definitely stalled a drive.
So they had a little delay here. Now they get the ball set right in the middle of the field. Trips to the right this time for Minnesota State.
That's a new quarterback, Jim.
And it is. They've gone to Kawa in the ball game. He takes a snap, runs the quarterback draw off the right side, and gets maybe a yard on the play.
Must be some Wildcat package type stuff.
He's a redshirt freshman out of Plainfield, Illinois.
Maybe he's a little bit better runner than Schlichty.
Yeah, I don't even have any running stats down for him. He has played quite a bit this year. He's thrown for 500 yards and 8 touchdowns. He remains in there. Second down, we'll call it 8 from the 27. And he fakes the draw play, looks, fires it down the right sideline. Wind hits it, and it's caught but out of bounds. The wind affected that one, and coming down with the grab was Ty Dennis. It was almost like a back-shouldered lob, Joe, is the best way I can describe it, because the ball was never going to get there, and the receiver made the adjustment early on, but he ran out of real estate. Again,
like I said, the wind is blowing almost at an angle, like that pushed the ball, but it wasn't out by much.
Yeah. So 3rd and 8 now. Double wide out left, single wide out to the right. From the gun this time. It's Akawa. Takes the snap. He's going to roll left. Here comes pressure. And the ball stripped. It's on the ground. Still loose, but it looks like Akawa got on it back at about the 13-yard line. Thunderwolves had a chance there momentarily to get it as Rosenbrock came very close to the recovery. He's the one that got the strip, I do believe.
If I was Csu-Pueblo, I'd call it out, so that you get as much time as you can with the wind at your back.
2:07 to go here in the quarter. Big loss all the way back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Like I said, I would call a timeout. Give yourself some time with the wind at your back.
And Minnesota State in no hurry, and rightfully so. They've struggled a little bit on their snaps here. Bednarski's done a nice job handling him. This one's a better snap right at him. Takes it. And he better kick this time. Fair catch signal for and taken. That's got to be fair catch interference, but I think he was blocked out. Here comes the flag. As making the catch that time, Brandon O'Donnell for the Thunderwolves. The question was he blocked into O'Donnell? He definitely made contact. And so interference with the right to make a fair catch. But the officials are talking this over to decide if he was blocked into him.
Yeah, they're going to waive this off, and rightfully so. Again, know your geography.
Yeah. Well, that's when I first vision, I thought he was blocked into him a little bit. So I thought it was, but then the flag came out late. As it is, Thunderwolves good field position from the 46-yard line. That was a lot better kick that time by Bednarski. Give him credit. 30-yard kick, great kick. Dowson up under center. 2 wideouts left, extra tight end to the left on this formation. That's Boyd. Marche Denard back in the ball game. And they're giving it to Marche on the draw play, and he just fights forward for maybe a yard or 2 on the play. Not much there. Tough sledding up the middle. Only a yard to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Looked like Rex Dowson was a little bit unsure on that play, Jim. He was looking at the sidelines like, I know what I called, but it's not there. Sometimes you just run the play. But at that time, it looked like he was ready to audible off, but the play clock was already down.
So 2nd and 9 from the 45-yard line. Thunderwolves lead it 3-0. Washington to the right. Ribbich in the game. He lines up wide to the left. Boyd, the tight end, on the slot left. He'll come in motion across the formation to the right side. Now resets. Might have been in motion that time. Play action. Going right down the middle of the field, too high, trying to hit Boyd down the middle of the field. I thought Boyd took off too soon that time up the field, but he got away with it. It's 3rd down and 9.
Ball kind of when you have the wind at your back, sometimes it's hard to throw the ball too. That ball sailed on him just a little bit, but that would have been a tight throw.
Yeah, what they call them windows now. That's the language they use. A tight window to fit that one in.
That was a bathroom window in an old house. It was so little.
That was like the old drill when you threw it through a tire in the backyard,
yeah.
Joe?
Todd Hoffner, the head coach, Minnesota State's trying to get his crowd riled up. Don't see that very often.
3rd and 9 for the Thunderwolves. Trips to the left this time. From the pistol this time. Dowson, straight drop back. Here comes pressure. Gets the pass away. It's intercepted. At the 44-yard line, diving stab and taken right there. And now the Thunderwolves give up all that field position. Dowson with a late decision to throw it left, and it was picked off. He's lucky it wasn't a pick six the other way. So the turnover bug hits Rex Dowson. Threw 2 in the second half last week against Chadron State. And that one, just a bad decision.
Tyshawn Brooks, I don't know how he came down with that. It was a great play. He kind of jumped the route. Great pick.
So they take over at their 44-yard line here with 41 seconds to go in the quarter.
Schlichty back in at quarterback.
Yep, the Ikawa experiment is over for now. Double wide out to the right. That's the short side of the field. Single wide out, kind of right on the hash mark. Now man going in motion across. That's Arnold.
Double.
They're going to go double reverse back the other way. Trying to get outside, but you can't make a living against the Thunderwolves, and then a flag comes in to boot. So probably get a hold. Plus you're going to lose maybe a couple on the play on the double reverse. So resorting to a little trick play there, trying to take advantage of that early turnover. Officials talking it over here. Exactly, we're going to mark the penalty's got to be marked off from the end of the play. It's an illegal chop block against Minnesota State is the signal. So that'd be a 15-yarder, I believe.
Absolutely, you take the penalty. You don't tack it onto this, though. It's either or.
From the previous spot. You're right, Joe. So mark it off from the 44 back inside the 30 all the way to the 29-yard line. That'll make it 1st down and 25 now with 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
But if you run the ball, you have one play with the wind in your face.
Thunderwolves leading it 3-0. 45-yard field goal by Mitch Carter.
Eerily similar to 2014.
Yes, it is so far, isn't it? Schlichty from the gun. Has 2 wideouts to the left. Going to give it up the middle. Not much there. Sizer gets right on the back of Gunn. Gets forward for about 4 out to the 33-yard line, and that will do it for the first quarter. Thunderwolves lead it 3-0 at the end of 1. Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves on top, 3-0 at the end of 1. Taking advantage of that win in the first quarter. But the late interception in the quarter has given Minnesota State the ball here. They face 2nd down now, though, and 21 from their own 33-yard line. Moving with the wind here in the second quarter, left to right as we look at it here. Thunderwolves show blitz off the edge. Here's Schlichty. Has time. Throws over the middle. Intercepted. Draper has it. Inside the 45. Inside the 40. Up the sideline. 35, 30, 25, 20 down to the 18-yard line. And the Thunderwolves turn it right around with the interception as Draper, playing center field that time, picked it off and made a nice return.
That ball sailed on Schlichty. Like I said, sometimes when you have it...
Draper, he's just gotten better and better as the season's gone along. Remember, early on in the year, he wasn't even on the depth chart, Joe. He's kind of in the doghouse. Made him earn his job, and he's earned his keep. So now the Thunderwolves. Imperative that you take advantage now. And they're going to make a switch at quarterback through the Thunderwolves as Brandon Edwards is into the ball game. He's up under center here. Michi is the back. Smith and Washington to the left here. Ball in the right hash mark. Edwards takes a snap, looks left, fires left. Ball caught by Washington and skips inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. Pickup of 6. It'll be second down and 4. It's a quick hitch on the left side. Got Smith out to the block for him. Just underway here in the second quarter. Thunderwolves on top 3-0. Smith and Washington to the right side this time. That's the wide side. Each of the lone back here. Up under center, it's Edwards. Brings Smith in motion across the formation. That's Morgan Smith, the tight end. They give it to Michi off the left side, and he gets forward to about the 10-yard line. Michi a little hesitant that time. He's running in the land of giants when you consider the size of Austin Michi. So now, 3rd and 2 for the Thunderwolves. See what the Thunderwolves dial up here. Edwards. Up under center. This time Smith and Washington to the right side. It's a double tight end set. Michi the lone back. Edwards takes the snap. Runs the drop play to Michi. Spins. Gets forward. He's got the first down and more. Down inside the about the 7 to the 6-yard line before they mark him down. Nice little spin move that time by Michi to get the first down.
Just a nice up and down with his legs. You watch him run. Doesn't move his legs a lot, Jim. Straight up and down.
You know, this umpire has a mind of his own where he just decides to spot the football. The linesmen both had their feet at the 6, and he just put it down at the 7. Says, let's stick it right here. Still first down, but first and goal from the 7-yard line. Edwards up under center. Michi the lone back. Boyd in motion to the right side. Resets. They give it to Michi off the right side.
Well, he sees the
hole. He's got the touchdown. Credit Boyd that time setting the edge. And Michi, you could see it was right on Joe and mine's sight line there. It was a huge hole, and Michi takes it on into the end zone for the touchdown. Mitch Carter in to try the extra point. Good snap, ball's down, kick is up, and it's drilled right through there. 12:48 to go here in the first half. Thunderwolves extended out. They lead it 10-0 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Oh, the Thunderwolves with some early breathing room here, taking advantage of the Tanner Draper interception, and Austin Michi taking it in from 7 yards out.
From our sideline, this is Blakeslee Stadium has great sidelines. It's a fun place to watch a football game, but the way they ran that play from you and I, we saw the hole open, and we saw Zach Boyd make one of the best blocks at tight end you're ever going to see, and Austin Michi just powered in for 6. Now this is going to be interesting, a kickoff into the wind like this.
And see if they pooch it or if they try to drill it or get it along the route. They're going to go low. The wind hits it. It's going to be taken by the up man at the 23-yard line across the 30. It's a big tight end with the ball. He just puts his head down and lumbers out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. And on the return that time, I think it was Trevor Nissen. He's a tight end, and he knows what to do with the football. And it's good field position here out to the 43-yard line for Minnesota State. Well, see, I tell you, this umpire, he just decides to put it wherever he wants it. He puts it at the 42. Now the chains across the way have to adjust to his spot.
That's why I never say it till he put the ball down.
He looks like one of those big dudes. You're not going to argue with him. Giant of a man as the umpire. Oh, Minnesota State down 10-0. Straight drop back. Here comes pressure, and he's sacked. As Riston is in there, along with, looks like Rosenbrock.
Yeah, Joe Rosenbrock. Joe.
We can do that once.
Sorry, Joe. Kyle Rosenbrock with a great blitz off the outside.
And it's back to the 38-yard line. A loss of 4, second down and 14 for the Mavericks. Double wide out left, single wide out right. Schlichty from the gun. And they're going to run it this time up the middle, not much there. Thunderwolves were honoring the run that time. And again, Rosenbrock. Been a force here early on in this ball game. Remember, he's the one that forced the fumble on the last drive.
His brother has a ring.
That's right.
Kyle has a touchdown this year, but Joe has a ring.
3rd and 12 now for the Mavericks.
Josh Croy wants the signals again. He doesn't see what they're saying. Mark Kreiner, defensive coordinator over there, he and Donnelly Immediate are talking to that defensive line, begging for him to get some penetration.
Thunderwolves edge up on the line of scrimmage here. Schlichty straight drop back. Here comes the blitz, and he got it again. The pass is away, and it's incomplete. He must have been able to get it off before his knee hit down.
And look, they gave him the sack.
Okay, they are saying his knee was down. Back here at the 34-yard line. That's what I thought, Joe. He kind of launched it out of there, heaved it out. But they do say the knee hit down, so it's another sack for the Thunderwolves.
And it was Rosenbrock again. They called that the sack. I was watching the far side. They came in, his knee was down.
So now it will be Rivers standing back at his own 20. He might want to get a little bit further back here. As this guy can boom it, Bednarski. See how much air he tries to put under, but it's hard to get it up in the air when the wind's flattening it out.
Well, you don't even feel it. Just let it go.
There's a kick in there, and he's just sailing. But it's going to be a chance for Rivers. And he fumbles it, and then he went down to a knee, and he's down. Now the official comes in a little late, but I think he was fumbling for his whistle. When you got the gloves and stuff on, sometimes you whiff on the whistle.
He went right through his arm, muffed it, then he dropped to a knee to pick it up.
And that's unfortunate because he had about a 10-yard cushion there that he could have maybe made a man or two miss that time. But as it is, the Thunderwolves will take over at their own 19-yard line. Leading the game 10-0.
Edwards still in at quarterback, but Michi now back, or Denard back in at tailback.
First time the Thunderwolves have had to deal with going into the wind with poor field position. Of course, they went into the wind and scored the touchdown last time, but it was with great field position. From the gun, and they're going to run the jet sweep. Around the left side, Smith trying to turn the corner. Gets his shoulders square, but he runs out of real estate and just barely gets it back to the line of scrimmage, if that. Yeah, they're going to mark him at the 18-yard line, a loss of a yard. It'll be second down and 11.
The problem with Josh Smith running the jet sweep is it takes him a while to get up to speed. You need a guy that's a little bit quicker off the get-go.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to hit the home run every time instead of just angling forward and getting some yards. He'll line up wide to the right this time. Washington in the slot to the right. Johnson to the left. From the pistol this time. Edwards takes the snap. Play action. Looks right. Fires right. Caught by Washington. He's out across the 20 to about the 22. Short gain. Gain of about 4. It'll make it third down and 7 now for the Thunderwolves. So Edwards into the ball game after Dowson threw that interception on that last possession before the quarter ended. That was enough for John Riston to say, you know what, I'm making a change. Third and 7. Smith to the left, wide to the left. Washington in the slot to the left. From the pistol.
They're coming. And they are.
Back, Edwards gets the pass away over the middle, caught by Johnson, but it'll be short of the first down. A little crossing route, but he'll be about 3 yards short. So now the Thunderwolves have to punt the ball into the wind. So now we'll find out. You know, Tanner Kuda had that 71-yard punt earlier, something like that.
It was big.
65 yards. Because it was marked to the 6. And now Kuda stands at his own 12, takes the snap, Gets the kick away, low end over end job, and it hits at the 50. Gets a Thunderwolves roll. Not bad all in all.
Yeah, you'll take that.
And it's down at the 45-yard line. And again, I mean, that's a 29-yard punt, but it's a great 29-yard punt. This wind is something else. 22 miles an hour blowing directly left to right as we're looking at it. And the Thunderwolves are close, moving right to left this quarter, leading it 10-0. Now Minnesota State needing to mount a drive here with this wind to get back into it here. Not that they're out of it, but you know what I mean. Ball at the 45-yard line. They alternate their quarterback again. They hand it off up the middle. And it's Gunn, and he gets out to about the 49-yard line. Picks up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. So they've gone to Akawa on this possession. They're alternating their quarterbacks. Akawa not the running threat that Schlichte is, but he can air it out. The wind just picking up ever more here at the stadium now. 2nd down and 6. They shift the formation to the left this time, both tight ends. Take the snap, fake the draw, look down the middle. Now firing up the left sideline, and the ball is broken up.
Boy, that was
Sears.
Fortuitous defense by Jamal Sears. He's going to get credit for a pass breakup, but that's just...
He just turned right in, the ball was there.
Nice throw by the quarterback with the wind at his back. Didn't let it ball sail too high.
Tried to get it to Zylstra.
Northern Sun Player of the Year offensively.
So 3rd down and 6 now for the Mavericks. A little tension here in the stands. It's their team down by 10 here in the early going. Bring a man in motion now, reverse to the left side. Thunderbolts show blitz off the edge. Shangolo trying to get there. Pass out and incomplete. And good coverage that time by Taylor. Ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, Dennis. I mean, even though you're with the wind, Joe, you mentioned it is no picnic throwing the football today with the wind. Especially with a cold football.
That's where you get the star imprint on your chest.
And plus you're going against 2 cornerbacks. The Thunderbolts, let's face it, the strength of their ball club on defense, the corners, they are
23 interceptions of the season. 24 now with Tanner Drapers today.
Here's the punt. Straight up and shanked it. Dead right. Look out. Headache in the stands. That is a big whiff.
You wonder where you're going to get this one because, I mean...
all the way out to the 42-yard line. So the Thunderbolts living a charmed life there.
9-yard punt.
I mean, there's shanks and then there's shanks. So the Thunderbolts take over, and they'll take this exchange at their own 42-yard line here. Leading it 10-0. Edwards remains at quarterback. He'll be up under center this time. Denard is the back. Ribbich into the game, wide to the right. And they're going to run it to Marche up the middle. Makes a little adjustment. Dives out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
Best run of the day for the Thunderwolves. If you can get 5 yards of carry about 3 or 4 times in a drive, keeps the defense honest. Marche Denard averages 7.5 yards of carry. That's one of the tops in the nation.
Scored 17 touchdowns this year. 1,000-yard back. 10-26 to be exact. Ribbert wide to the right again. Washington in the slot to the right. Morgan Smith, the extra tight end, lines up on the right side of the formation. He comes in motion to the left. And they look right, fire it right. Washington has it. Try to get the block out ahead. Puts his head down. He's out toward midfield. Ribbert trying to seal the play that time to get him some room. Not much on the play. They're going to mark it at the 49. Only a gain of 2, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
That was a 20-yard pass in the wind to get 2 yards. And a dangerous pass because it was across his body into that swirling wind.
Fans coming to their feet here. They want to stop here.
Play clock down to 16. I don't know that they're going to get this off.
They break out. Looks still some confusion here, trying to line up on the correct side. Rivers and Amon Johnson over to the left. Down to 5 on the play clock. And now timeout signal for the Thunderbolts. I think that's a good timeout there. You don't want to rush one here and screw it up. So timeout on the field. Thunderbolts lead at 10-0 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Well, Joe spotted it right away. The Thunderwolves were having a little trouble getting that play call. And then once they came out of the huddle and they went to the wrong side, you could just tell, hey, just slow things down here, get the timeout.
Jim, conditions are deteriorating quickly.
And it is just the wind's more quartering almost right toward us now. And the clouds are moving in, sun going away. It's getting brutal. 3rd and 3. Edwards from the gun. Rivers comes in motion toward us. Straight drop back. Here comes pressure off the edge. Out pattern. And it's broken up. Incomplete. They tried to get it to Amon Johnson. The cornerback came in and busted that one up.
That's great defense by the Mavericks. Amon Johnson had that ball. You got to hang on, and you know you're going to get popped.
That's one of the returnees that played in the championship game back in 2014. Brendan Crystal, the starting cornerback, senior out of Crystal Lake, Illinois.
You know, he might have led the team in tackles that day.
So Thunderwolves have to punt into the wind from the 49-yard line. Huda takes the snap. Gets it rolling end over end, takes a nice hop, but the wind's still knocking it down, and it's going to roll inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. That's a good strategy. Prevents any chance for any sort of hop for a return, and you get as much roll as possible. Pretty good deal. The only thing you got to worry about is somebody coming up there blocking the punt when you're kicking it that low or even kicking it into your up man. But Kuda able to get the job done. So Minnesota State takes over at their own 23-yard line, trailing it 10-0.
Back to Schlichty now, quarterback.
He operates from the gun this time, a wide out to each side. And they give the ball off the right side. Gunn gets out across the 25. Draper comes in to slow things down, and then the posse able to stop him. Now we've got
play clock.
They did missed up on the play clock. Okay. Officials stopped play momentarily. A gain of 5, 2nd down and 5 from the 28-yard line. They pick up the tempo here. 2 wideouts to the left, single wideout right. Schlichty barking out the signals. Now Gunn adjusts over onto his left hip from the gun. Takes the snap. Straight drop back this time. Pass out to the right, and it is caught for the first down out at the 40-yard line. Jack Curtis on the grab. Sophomore on a Lombard. Or no, that's not Jack Curtis. I beg your pardon. I think that might be Ty Dennis on the grab. Beg your pardon.
Emory Taylor's like, I have the ball. How was that a catch?
So it's 1st and 10 for the Mavericks from their own 40-yard line. They run the draw play to Gunn, and he's hit. He gets forward for about 3. Seemed like it was a little easier for him early in the game. Now the Thunderwolves are starting to get up to speed on the run game.
Well, you can key on him a little bit because you know he's going to get the ball. Now they're trying to pick on Emory Taylor just size-wise because he is one of the smaller corners in Division II, but he's, like John Riston said, a pit bull.
2nd down and 7. Straight drop back. Here comes pressure. They get away. Schlichty now gets forward, and he's going to be close to the first down. Be about a yard short. Taken down by Payer and Rosenbrock at the 49-yard line. He made the decision to get out of there early because Josh Croy was coming. Flushed him out of the pocket. Or up into the pocket and forward, I guess I should say.
And he's hurt him already with his feet a couple of times.
So 3rd and a yard now for the Mavericks. And they run it to Gunn, and he's hit, and he's stopped. He's 2 yards short of the first down. As Draper came flying in there along with, I think it's Filio in the ball game. Trevor Filio, the redshirt freshman out of Cherry Creek.
Did a great job there.
He comes up holding his shoulder a little bit.
They love his size. They're going to go for it.
4th down and 2 now for the Mavericks. Will they indeed go for it, or are they just trying to draw them offside here? They saw the Thunderwolves probably on film last week jump offside a number of times. They are going to go for it. They give it to Gunn off the left side. He's hit. He gets forward. He's got the first down across midfield down to the 48-yard line.
That was kind of a statement run right there by Gunn.
Yeah, just trying to change momentum here.
That was definitely a statement run. Nothing fancy either. No try and draw him upside. Just run power left.
Yeah, they went with a quick count. So it's 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Thunderwolves lead it 10-0. We're down to 4:14 to go here in the first half.
He took a beating on that. He came off the field on his own, but he's shaken up a little bit.
And they Play action. Pass right, caught inside the 45, inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. It's the man that ran the kickoff back earlier, the big tight end. That's Trevor Nissen. He's got another first down for the Mavericks down to the 38-yard line.
See what Mark Kreiner can do over there.
And they're going to run it up the middle. This is the second-string running back. That's Taramina. And he gets a good push down to about the 33-yard line. Now he'll come out and gun right back in there as they give him a little blow. 2nd down and 5. They're an up-tempo ball club.
Yeah, they weren't even
They give it to Gunn on the left side. He puts his head down, wedges forward. He's close to another first down, but his knee came down. He's going to be about a yard short. They're going to mark him at the 24.
And they weren't even set that time. The left tackle or right tackle just got up and crashed down.
3rd and a yard. Power to the right this time. And they give it to Gunn off the right side. He gets forward. He's got the first down to about the 27-yard line. Stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. We're down to 3:03 to go here. 3 minutes now to go here in the first half. 10-0, Thunderwolves on top. Minnesota State trying to crack the scoreboard for the first time today. Now the Thunderwolves are going to take a timeout on defense.
Our internet cord get unplugged by somebody here in the booth, so that was our problem here. In the meantime, Minnesota State has kicked a field goal. It is 10-3. We'll get you caught up here when we can here, as they've been scrambling around trying to figure out what was going on. Kick sails out the back of the end zone. We're down to 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Thunderwolves had made a stop when it was 3rd and 10, but were called for roughing the passer, which gave Minnesota State new life on their drive. They got it inside the 10, fumbled it on a 3rd down play, but were able to get the recovery and eventually kicking a field goal to make it 10-3 here. Thunderwolves now taking over with 21 seconds to go in the first half. Edwards up under center here. Thunderwolves probably just run it one time here and get the heck out of here, I would imagine. They give it to Michi out the right side. Gets across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. And timeout has been taken by Minnesota State. So they're going to use their timeouts here, try to make the Thunderwolves have to punt it into this wind here. So 16 seconds to go here in the quarter. We're going to keep it right here this time to get you caught up on exactly what happened. But when we went away, the Thunderwolves had made a stop, but were called for roughing the passer. Minnesota's drive then kept alive. They got a fresh set of downs, but then on a 3rd down and 3 call from the 10, they fumbled the football. Thunderwolves looked like they had a shot at it. In fact, the whole team thought they had it, but they didn't get on top of it. Minnesota State did recover it, and then on the next play, they kicked the field goal by Bednarski. And that's where we are now at 10-3. We have 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Thunderwolves with the ball here on 2nd down and 8. And they run the draw play, meet you around the left side. They try to run as wide a play as they can to take some time off the clock. Now some pushing and shoving here as Thunderwolves getting engaged on the line of scrimmage. Ty McCulley with one of the tackles for Minnesota State. Timeout taken. We'll take one here with them. 10 seconds to go here in the first half. 10-3 Thunderwolves on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Blakeslee Stadium here on the campus of Minnesota State University, Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves now facing 3rd down and 7. 10 seconds to go here. Thunderwolves will want to try to take as much time off as they can here before Minnesota State will take another timeout, I would imagine. Trying to draw them offside here. Long count. Edwards now gives it up the middle to Michi, puts his head down. He's hit down at the 31-yard line. And the timeout taken with 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Now the Thunderwolves with a choice here. You're going to punt it, but you could, I guess, snap it and try to run it around a little bit. But I think the safe play still is the punt. If there was like 3 seconds to go or something like that, then you might just take it and heave a pass toward the sideline, do something like that. But with 6 seconds to go, you're still going to have to run it pretty conventionally, and I think you just punt the football away, Joe.
Well, and you also got to worry about home clock operators. You get a built-in couple extra seconds that way, and that's routine everywhere. So you just got to be smart and kick it away, and hope that your return team doesn't do anything stupid.
So Thunder will send the punt team out. You know, it was kind of like a scene from Airplane, Joe. Remember when the guy pulled the plug on the airport, all the lights? That's kind of what happened here. It just pulled our plug out of the jack here, down to our right. Kind of weird how that happened. Wasn't our doing. The Gremlins. So and they snap it to the up man, and it's going to be the fake punt. Riston going to run it around the right side. They're trying to get a block up this sideline, and Riston is down to about the 40, but they run out of time here. So the Thunderwolves did indeed decide not to punt it. They ran the fake punt again, and Riston again, great. He's got a great average per carry this year, but the Thunderwolves not able to do anything with it. They were probably just hoping to take that one to the house, perhaps. Now we've got a signal here. There's a flag on the play on the Thunderwolves. There's the flag back at the 28-yard line, holding on the Thunderwolves. So the penalties against the offense, they have to end. The half can end on a penalty on the offense. Evidently, you're going to make the Thunderwolves run an untimed down here. I don't quite.
Well, you can kneel on it now.
It's an untimed down. The half can't end on a penalty against the defense. The penalty was against the offense. So now the Thunderwolves just run the offense out there going to victory formation. Yeah, this is a lesson in futility here. So now the Thunderwolves just go out and take the knee. But they're going to make them go through it. Not quite sure why the official. I guess our officials that are listening to the game will have to clue us in here on this.
Nobody's arguing.
So the Thunderwolves take the snap, take the knee, they run the one untimed down, and that's it. So that was just a waste of about a minute and a half of our life.
Of coldness.
Halftime from Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves lead at 10-3 as we go to break. Back with our halftime show right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves lead at 10-3 at halftime. Let's tell you how we got here. Thunderwolves got a field goal late in the first quarter after the teams exchanged possessions. Mitchell Carter with a 45-yard boot. It capped a kind of minuscule drive. It was 6 yards and 4 plays, but it got the Thunderwolves on top first in this game. They led it 3-0. Then the next possession for Minnesota State, they threw an interception as Tanner Draper picked it off around midfield, ran it back inside the Minnesota State 20-yard line. From there, it would take the Thunderwolves 4 plays to go 18 yards. Austin Michi going in for the final 7. Gorgeous block on the play on the right side by Boyd as he just caved in the right side, allowing Michi to get it on in there. Then we had our wild turn of events late in the first half. Thunderwolves, their own worst enemy again. They still might have been able to get a field goal. This field goal kicker of theirs can bang it from 63 yards this year, so they were probably in right on the edge of makeable field goal range anyway, but the Thunderwolves picked up a personal foul, roughing the passer on a 3rd and 10 call from about the 35-yard line or so. And it kept the drive alive. They moved the ball down and then eventually faced a 3rd down from the 10, but they fumbled it. The ball was loose in the backfield. Thunderwolves thought they had the recovery, but it was picked up by Minnesota State. And on the next play, Bednarski hit a 29-yard field goal to get their first points of the game with 21 seconds to go in the first half. And that's where we stand right now, 10-3. Thunderwolves on top. Back with the numbers right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota, on the campus of Minnesota State University. About 90 or so miles to the southwest of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and airport's actually in the Bloomington area. We made the drive down here after chartering in there. It's not a bad little place to be here, if you don't mind 30 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour winds. Thunderwolves on top 10-3 here at halftime. Here are the first half numbers, and they're kind of skewed toward Minnesota State numbers-wise here. They have 9 first downs. Thunderwolves with only 1 first down in the first half. 79 yards on 34 carries for Minnesota State. Thunderwolves only 23 yards on 12 carries. 27 yards through the air for Minnesota State. Thunderwolves with 23. Time of possession, Minnesota State 21:07, Thunderwolves 8:53. But then it starts to even out because Minnesota State on third down only 1 of 10. Thunderwolves were 1 of 7. Minnesota State did convert 2 of 3 fourth downs. Thunderwolves were, they got them down here 0 for 1, but they actually should be, well, no, they was 0 for 1 because they, that was that play before the end of the first half. They ran the fake punt, were called for holding. Thunderwolves 1 for 1 in the red zone. It was a touchdown. Minnesota State 1 for 1. It was a field goal. Individual numbers. Nate Gunn, late addition to the starting lineup, has been their starter all year, first 8 games before an injury. But he's back today. 24 carries. What a workhorse. 79 yards on the ground. Schlichty, the quarterback, 5 carries for a net of 8. He was sacked twice in the first half. Taramina, 3 carries for only 3 yards. Ikawa, the backup quarterback, 2 for a minus 11, as he was also sacked once in this ball game. Michi, 7 carries for 17 yards, did have the touchdown. Denard, 3 carries for 7. Smith, 1 for a negative 1. Schlichty, 3 of 7, 1 interception. It was a big one. 27 yards in the first half. Ikawa 0 for 3. Rex Dowson, before he got the hook, 1 of 6 with the 1 interception, 7 yards. Brandon Edwards, 4 of 5 for 16 yards. Receiving, Dennis 2 for 17. Nissen 1 for 10. Washington caught 3 for 12. Smith 1 for 7. Johnson 1 for 4. Payer had 9 tackles. Croy 8. Rosenbrock 7. Draper was 6 for lead away for the Thunderwolves. Crystal with 4, Corey with 3, Palme and Parizo with 2 apiece for Minnesota State. Halftime score 10-3. Thunderwolves on top. Back with the scores right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves on top 10-3 here at halftime. Let's take a tour around Division II in the tournament, see what's happening around the country. The defending national champions, 2-time defending national champions, are on the ropes. Third quarter, they're down 21-10. Ashland on top of Northwest Missouri State, as I just get the update on that one. Ferris State, what do you got, Joe?
Well, and Northwest Missouri State barely got in the field.
Right. It was a kind of one of those last teams in type of deal. Elsewhere, Ferris State leads Ouachita Baptist 17-13. Shepherd over Findlay in the third quarter 17-15. Westchester leads Shippensburg 27-0. Second quarter score, California of Pennsylvania, they lead Assumption 17-10. Delta State leads Bowie State 24-7. UIndy down late second quarter to Harding 14-10. West Georgia, former opponent of the Thunderwolves in 2014 in the semifinal game, they lead Virginia State 14-3. West Georgia, one of the last teams in as well. They had 3 losses, one of the only 3-loss teams in the field. West Florida leads Wingate 17-0. Sioux Falls and Midwestern State just underway. A&M Commerce and Winona State just underway as well. We'll get scores from those games later on throughout the afternoon. Let's see what else is happening on the other side of
it's kind of a bad
football.
Day football-wise, big game-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when Alabama's playing Mercer,
It's a tough day.
It's like breather day in college football.
We have some interesting scores, though, right now. First of all, TCU leads Texas Tech third quarter 10-3. Here's one that's interesting. Michigan leads Wisconsin 10-7. 5:50 to go in the third quarter there. That game being played up in Madison today.
You know how many people and snowing up there?
Yeah.
You know how many people that will end? It will effectively end Wisconsin's claim to being one of the top 4.
Exactly, if they don't pull that out. Miami of Florida and Virginia. Here's an interesting one. 28-28. Third quarter score there. Northwestern all over Minnesota 32-0. The guy at the airport yesterday said I had a lot of guts for taking Minnesota in that game. I guess he knew something. I guess when you're a local. Memphis over SMU 38-31 in the third quarter. Third quarter score. Central Florida over Temple 38-13. Alabama 56-0 over Mercer. Just underway in the fourth quarter. Let's see, Auburn, next week opponent in the Iron Bowl, will lead Louisiana Monroe 28-7. Is that one just updated? Arkansas over Mississippi State 21-14. Clemson leads the Citadel 52-0. K-State and Oklahoma State later on today, along with Notre Dame, Navy, Ohio State, Illinois, Oklahoma, Kansas, amongst others, throughout the rest of the afternoon. We'll come back after this timeout. We'll get you set up for the second half of action here. Thunderwolves on top 10-3 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Blakeslee Stadium here on the campus of Minnesota State University in Mankato, Minnesota. We thank Caitlin Norton, our producer and engineer today, handling our crisis with the grace there as we laid that first half. When you go quiet, she just doesn't know, it's like, what do I do now? And she handled it.
You want to kind of explain to them the crisis?
Well, the plug came out of the wall. We're not sure if it was...
I think it probably was me.
Probably you, and you pulled your chair back?
I'm guessing.
Yeah, oh well. We got it taped up now.
There's so many cords here, I feel like we're on in an ICU unit. God.
Yeah, it's, what was somebody saying yesterday? That darn hockey team, they get everything. Well, it's obvious.
Well, I mean, we got cords everywhere. We got the neighbor radio guy streaming some stuff underneath this.
Yeah,
Hey, but you know what? They've been nothing but hospitable up
great.
here.
Great. Had a great time with them last night with Paul Allen, the main dude, is Nick's his assistant. And we had the little pizza last night after the hockey game down with Dax. It was like coming home week for Dax.
I asked him who he was rooting for.
Yeah.
He's Pueblo.
That's right. He's a CSU Pueblo guy now. I think he's kind of proud to stick it to him at times when he wears his ring around. His championship ring.
Yeah.
And his gear, and his dad last night had his Thunderwolves sweatshirt on. All right, Thunderwolves get the ball first to start this second half. They'll move into the wind in this second half. Minnesota State to kick it off. Bednarski into it, and he just booms it out the back of the end zone.
Just let that one go.
He has a big leg, owns a 63-yard field goal this year. But even his little field goal from, 27 yards was no picnic.
No, and it didn't get 10. It got, the crossbar is 10 feet high.
Yeah.
And it got 11.
Yeah, maybe. I'm with you, about 11-2. If he was high jumping, he probably would have hit the bar and probably wouldn't have counted, right?
John Riston staying with Brandon Edwards at quarterback.
And he's up under center here. Ball's on the left hash mark. 2 wideouts to the right. Rivers gets the start here in this second half, along with Washington. Boyd lines up on the right side of the formation. They're going to run a fake. Rolling it right. Edwards now gets the pass away. Zips it up the sideline. Well, and look at the catch. Did he get a foot down?
Oh, no.
Nope, he's out of bounds. Rivers says, hey, I thought I dragged my footer. He made a fantastic grab. But both sideline officials came in, talked it over, said incomplete. We have no video board here, but I don't think he was in.
Well, this was if the pass would have been better thrown, it would have been picked off.
Yeah, exactly.
So if your glass is half empty guy, it was incomplete. If it's half full, it's a good thing it was out because it would have been picked off.
Second down and 10. Denard. The lone back here from the pistol this time. It's Edwards. Send Boyd in motion to the right side. Give it to Denard off the right side. Good burst of speed. He's got his best run of the day. He's got the first down and more. Out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. They might say he's down at the 40 with his knee, but it was a great burst off that right side.
Great run. Great lead block again by Zach Boyd, tight end, senior tight end. Gonna want his to be his last game. Talked to him at the hotel. He's one of my favorites. You know, when you cover guys for 4 or 5 years, you get to know them pretty well. And Zach Boyd's one of those special kids.
And he's getting double duty today along with Morgan Smith because Aaron Eckhoff is out with that back injury. 1st and 10 Thunderwolves from their own 40-yard line. Ball on the right hash, 2 wideouts to the left. And quick pass caught by Washington. And he's out across the 40 to about the 43. I tell you what, the cornerback gambled that time. He tried to jump around the blocker, Rivers, that time to pick that ball off. And Washington did a good job to adjust to make the grab.
You know what that does? It just keeps the defense honest. So you just can't focus on the run. You know, we send a shout-out to the Eckhoff family. They're very good to us. Longtime listeners, fans, friends. You know, watching Aaron in the lobby today.
Oh, man, it's painful.
Just painful with the bad back.
2nd down and 7 for the Thunderwolves. 2 wideouts to the right side this time. It's Rivers and Washington. Boyd again in motion to the right side from the pistol. And they give it to Marche. Tries to bounce it outside. Tries to turn the corner. Gets his head forward to about the 45-yard line. Tried to square up his shoulders that time. Able to push forward. Pretty good play by the cornerback on that left side, Larry Moore. Senior out of Calumet City, Illinois. 3rd and 5 now for the Thunderwolves.
Well, they like running to that right side. You know, Evan Perizzo, that Sackler comes off on this 3rd down play, bringing in an extra linebacker to shore up the run.
Big early play here in this second half. Moving into the win for the Thunderwolves offense. Trips to the left, single wide out right from the pistol. Long count. Edwards takes the snap, looks left. Here comes pressure now. He's flushed to the right, and he is hit and thrown to the turf at the 40-yard line. Body slammed over there. Just could not get away. And flying in there, Alex Gettle, sophomore out of North Mankato, hometown boy.
You see right there, Brandon Edwards not as mobile as he was to start the season. You know, he suffered that meniscus or MCL tear.
Punting formation for Kuda. Takes the snap. Here's the rugby-style kick, and the wind just hits it sideways, and it comes out of bounds right at midfield. About a 9-yard punt. Well, Kuda been doing a great job in this game punting the football, but that time he got a little too much air under it, and the wind just hit it and knocked it straight sideways.
That's on your defense. It's been your bread and butter the entire season. You know, your program's been built on defense. This is where it needs to come.
Ball right at midfield.
Schlichty at quarterback, Gunn at tailback.
Wide out to each side here. Extra tight end lines up on the left side of the formation here. It's like an extra blocking back that way. And straight drop back, looking left, and now Schlichty going to run for his life, trying to get outside. And he's taken down at the 49-yard line.
Nor Shangalo.
Waiting for the flag to come out. It never did it, Joe?
Well, when you got a guy by the jersey and he's breaking through, that's usually a hold.
It's usually a good giveaway, but as we said, sometimes playoff officials just error.
But I like playoff officials. They let them play.
So 2nd down and 11 from the 49-yard line.
That just shows you the speed of Nor Shangalo. Jim.
Yeah, he can get out there. Now going to roll the pocket right. Here comes pressure, gets the pass away, and ball's caught for the first down inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Schlichty was hit after he delivered the pass, but he stood in there long enough to get the pass delivered to the big tight end.
It was a long way to go to complete that pass, but it was good for 11.
Nissen with the grab down to the 38-yard line of the Thunderwolves, 1st and 10. Ball on the left hash mark. Wide out to each side from the gun. Gun lines up on the left hip this time of Schlichty. Takes a snap, gives it to Gun up the middle. Nice hole. He's across the 35, spins down to about the 30. Draper making the stop there. but a gain of 7 on the play. It'll be second down and, they're going to give him a little bit more here, looks like. Snap down to the 30, looks like. It looks like I have a problem with the chain across the way. It is still second down and 3. And they give the ball up the middle. Another big hole into the secondary across the 20. Down to about the 17-yard line. This is Taramina on the grab this time. That was a good burst. He's a good change of pace back. He has a little bit more burst than Gunn. Now Minnesota State on the move here. Trying to get the tying touchdown here early on in the third quarter. Again, it's Taramina up the middle. Again, he squirts through there, but they get him down by the ankle. Luckily, Michael Riston got him down low and got Taramina to the turf at about the 12-yard line. A pickup of 5, second and 5. Boy, it looked like he was about ready to burst through there and go on into the end zone.
Nice adjustment. Nice adjustments by Minnesota State at halftime on their running game.
And it's Gunn around the left side this time. Tries to turn the corner. He won't be able to turn the corner. Shangolo on that left side that time, able to chase Gunn down and steer wrestled him to the turf back at the 13-yard line.
Huge down now for Csu-Pueblo, Jim. If they can hold them to a field goal.
It's third and a short 6.
Watch this little screen pass.
Schlichty barking out signals to his lineman. He's got double wide out right, single wide out to the left. Takes the snap. He looks right, fires right, and it's intercepted and dropped. Oh, man. They had the pick and couldn't hold on. It was Jaden Garcia with it in his hands, and he left it laying on the turf.
Jim,
that's one of those plays. He stays upright. It's 6 the other way and a game changer. No doubt about it.
But it also shuts him out of points on this drive. This is going to be just a little 30-yard attempt.
Attempt going to be from the left hash mark. Bednarski. He's only missed one all year long. Kick is up. And it is good. 9:08 to go here in the third quarter. Minnesota State cuts it to a 10-6 ball game on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Eight-play, 37-yard drive for the Mavericks, cutting the lead to 4. It's 10-6. Thunderwolves still on top. And only 6 minutes gone here in this third quarter. You keep an eye on the clock on days like this with the wind blowing the way it is. You just can't wait for that fourth quarter if you're a Thunderwolf fan to get that wind at your back. Here's the kick. And it sails out the back of the end zone.
Well, this is where now we do this all the time, but second guess, you don't take a shot on 1st and 10 that puts you behind. I mean,
yeah, Thunderwolves only 2 first downs all day long. That last drive they had, or the first drive of this half, they had a nice run by Denard, got them out to the 40-yard line, but then they stalled. Just need to wedge out a couple of first downs here, if anything. From the gun, it's Edwards. He has Michi with him this time. Brings Smith in motion. Straight drop back. Now they roll to the left. Edwards going to run it. Now flings it out of bounds. Thought about flipping it to Michi, but Michi wasn't really in position to get it.
He was covered, and Josh Smith was the next receiver, and he was covered. That was a good job by Minnesota State. Again, Jim, run the football into the wind, the clock.
So 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Edwards looking to the sideline to get the play call. Like Lampier over there signaling it in.
This time you got Ty McCulley and Zach Boyd across from Evan Perizzo, the Mavericks stud defensive end.
Boyd in motion to the right side, resets. Pass right side, thrown behind Washington. Made a great adjustment to make the grab, but he gets forward, stays on his feet somehow to get out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Boy, you can see the wind hit that pass as it struggled to get over to the sideline, and somehow Washington able to get forward to the 29-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 6. Man, oh man, that ball just seemed to just knuckle. Third and 6 for the Thunderwolves. Johnson to the right, trips to the left this time. Almost a quad to the left here as Boyd now tightens up. He lines up at the tight end. Forsgren's into the ball. Now Thunderwolves moving all over the place, and we're going to get maybe some movement on this right side, or do they get the timeout call? We'll see. Flag comes in. Thunderwolves had 12 plays. No wonder they had so many wide receivers on the play. So a penalty comes in. So 12 men on the field for the Thunderwolves. Everybody's over at the sideline. Like a timeout was called, but the Thunderwolves didn't get the timeout called in time to negate the penalty. So now the officials trying to get the players' attention. Hey, get back out here on the field here. So now it's 3rd and 11 for the Thunderwolves. This is almost next to impossible in these weather conditions right now. About the only thing available to you might be able to hit the tight end down the middle if you can get some kind of fake on the safety here on 3rd and 11. Edwards takes the snap. He looks left. Here comes pressure. He fires it down the middle. Forsgren in traffic makes the grab at the 45-yard line. Cole Forsgren, and a flag comes down late. Might be a sideline.
I think that's just a sideline warning
here on Minnesota State. But what a grab by Forsgren in traffic. What a delivery by Edwards into the wind.
The Minnesota State sideline. Yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Thunderwolves all the way out to the 45-yard line. 21-yard pickup on the play.
You know, we talk about Cole Forsgren being the forgotten receiver because the stable is just long, but Sammy Long IV is not dressed today.
So 1st and 10 Thunderwolves gets them a fresh set of downs. We're down to 7:50 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Double wide out right, single wide out left. From the pistol this time. Edwards takes the snap, gives it to Michi off the right side, makes a nice cut, gets forward, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, but only for about 2 yards on the play. It was a lot of work for 2. Need to make one more man miss to really spring it.
That was a pretty good little 2-yard run, though.
2nd down and 8. And, Joe, you know, the sun just came through in the back. It's getting the incubator effect. I kind of like it here behind me. I feel it on my back. Oh, I'm feeling better. I know you're sitting down. You don't get to feel that.
No, I have to take notes.
Okay.
I have a real job.
Here, I'll just put my hand. Maybe I can give you a little.
I have a real job.
Yeah, there you go. 2nd down and 8. Denard in the ball game. Double wide out right. They give it to Marche up the middle. Now tries to bounce it outside. Breaks one tackle. Gets forward for another 2. So it brings up 3rd down now and 6. 6:45 to go here, 3rd quarter. Thunderwolves lead it 10-6.
See, this is good though, because even if your drive stalls and you punt, even if you shank one, you're still on the other side of the field. I mean, this is what they needed to milk this quarter. And you know, Minnesota State and Csu-Pueblo have played each other twice now. Minnesota State still does not have a touchdown.
Correct. Smith wide to the left. Forsgren in the slot to the left. Boyd in the slot to the right. He comes in motion across the formation. Now resets. They run the draw play to Denard. Breaks one tackle. Gets forward. He's got the 1st down inside the 44-yard line. I'll tell you what, Joe, 1st downs feel like touchdowns in this game.
They do. And I was just going to say that it's like you can breathe. You get a 1st down in this set of oxygen.
It's old school football. Our old school listeners, it almost reminds you of maybe an Ohio State-Michigan game way back in the 70s.
Well, coming into this game, we thought 14-10 would be a shootout.
Exactly.
With the weather and these two teams.
Ball's at the 44-yard line of the Mavericks. Thunderwolves Working into the wind. Boyd comes in motion, resets. They run the draw play to Denard off the right side. Good hard run. Puts his head down. Stays upright. His knees never did go down, but now they whistle the play dead. Forward progress at the 41-yard line. He was laying on top of the tackler with his knees up in the air, but he ground to a halt, so they had to blow the whistle.
You know, that's where Alex Mitchell was a guard out in front of him, and he didn't push his guy far enough down the field.
2nd down and 7 for the Thunderwolves. Precious time milking off this clock. We're down to 5:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Thunderwolves working into this 22-mile-an-hour gusty wind. Johnson wide to the right, Smith wide to the left, Forsgren in the slot to the left. Now Smith goes in motion, the tight end, resets on the right side. They look left, fire left, ball caught by Forsgren. Tries to get up the field. He's inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. Thunderwolves made a little adjustment that time, Joe. You notice what they did? They kind of threw it over the top.
They see him jumping the route, and they decide to throw it over the top there. Still a very dangerous pass into the wind, though.
And Forsgren gets down to the 38-yard line.
I don't know that I'd be throwing that off.
Yeah, it's risky. It's almost 4-down territory at this point with 3rd and 4. You just feel like the Thunderwolves ought to run it twice here. See if they can wedge it out. Edwards sweep under center. Tight end Smith is on the right side. 2 wideouts far to the right. Now Smith comes in motion, resets on the left side. And they are going to give it to Marshy off the left side. Makes the adjustment and no gain. Well, they went with my idea, run it twice. So far, anyway, that's 1 run, but now they're going to have to come up with something different here on 4th down and 4. You're almost hoping to get half of it there and then have a little bit better shot at running it to get the 1st down.
All the players are saying, let's go for it, let's go for it. John Riston's not having any of that. He's gonna punt the ball. Don't blame him.
Yeah, you almost hope Tanner Kuda can, with this win, just boom one and have it go 20 yards, and that'd be all right.
Play clock down to 10.
Takes the snap, and he sends it high, spiraling into the air. Fair catch, a signal. Look at that one. He's kind of knifed through the wind and made it on into the end zone. I don't think they expected that.
Well, that's where you don't want it like that. You only get a net 20 yards.
Oh, that is almost exasperating, isn't it? He just kind of knifed that one through the spiral. That's why.
Jim, it's like when you got a 6-iron in your hand because you think you got to just muscle it up, and it just cuts right through that wind. But you still put it back at the 20.
Yeah. They just felt like they had a chance maybe to pin them down inside the 10 that time with something good. 3:17 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Thunderwolves still leading at 10-6. That's the ultimate goal. Get out of this quarter with the lead. Thunderwolves with too many men on the field. They finally get the substitution off as Jaden Garcia gets off. They fake the jet sweep.
Gonna go for it all.
Up the right sideline, and Williams is looking for the interception. Can't get there. The ball sailed. Williams had the great covers that time, along with Draper back there, but you could see Darius knew that ball he had a chance at, but the wind sailed it up the middle of the field instead of toward the sideline.
I think he baited him just a little bit, and so you got Darius on one side and then Tanner Draper in the middle.
2nd down and 10 for the Mavericks from their own 20-yard line here. Ball's on the left hash. They got a wide out to each side. The extra tight ends go to the left side this time. From the gun. And Gunn is the running back. Lines up on the left hip of Schlichty. Takes the snap. And he gives it to Gunn up the middle. And he gets forward for about 3 or 4 on the play. Boy, the illusion there, the tackle, or the guard that time, Hunter Topple, came piling through there, but he didn't have the football.
No, he had Brandon Baer by the middle of the chest.
They do spot the ball at the 26-yard line. I didn't think Gunn came across the 25 there, but whatever. This umpire, I'm telling you, he's got a mind of his own out there. 3rd and 4 for the Mavericks. Shangalo showing blitz off the edge here. Straight drop back. Here he comes. Gets the pass away, and it's caught by the big tight end, lumbering across the 40, across midfield to the Thunderwolves' 45-yard line. He's been the best weapon they've had today. Trevor Nissen, the tight end, lumbers into Thunderwolves' territory all the way down to the 45-yard line. Huge pickup.
Well, when you gamble and blitz and don't get them, that's what happens.
Now they give it to Gunn up the middle, and he just wedges his way down to about the 41-yard line. He'll pick up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Mavericks there. We're down to 2:10 to go here in this third quarter. Thunderwolves lead it 10-6.
That's what he did in the first quarter. Just get that 4 yards of carry, just kind of leaned. He's a big back.
He comes out of the game now, and Taramina comes in. Taramina really has had the best runs of the game so far today for Minnesota State on that last drive. He busted a couple in there. 2nd and 6. Gonna roll the pocket right. Pump fake. Sailing up the right sideline, and it's intercepted by Draper at the 10-yard line. Tanner Draper with his 2nd pick of the day. That's the good news. The bad news is it's at the 10-yard line, and they got a minute and a half to go here in this third quarter.
Yeah, but you shut them out of going into the end zone or scoring points with the wind at their back.
Now, Joe, you talked about it in the first half, and I think it was in the first quarter when the Thunderwolves should use their timeouts with the wind situation. Minnesota State's going to have that decision here. If the Thunderwolves just run it a couple times in there, do you burn one of your timeouts?
I don't think so now, because you're past the point of no return. I think you got to play it straight up.
Ball's at the 10-yard line. Edwards up under center. Denard the lone back. 2 wideouts to the right. Little confusion on the Minnesota State defense, but they get set. Now Boyd in motion to the right side. Resets. Run the draw play to Denard, and he's hit immediately. No gain. It'll be 2nd down. They may have given him forward progress out to the 11, so we'll give him a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and the clock rolls. We're down to 1:20 to go here in the third quarter.
One first down right here would make you feel...
Yeah, you got to get it. I feel like you got to get a first down. I think Minnesota State will use a timeout here. Not on this down, but after 3rd down if they get the chance to make the Thunderwolves punt into the wind. Edwards going to go to the pistol this time with Denard right behind him. A wide out to each side. Guerra in motion. He resets. And they give it to Denard up the middle, and he just runs right into the stack. Gets another yard. It'll be 3rd down and 8. And the play clock.
They don't have to run a play.
I'm trying to see if it's in sync or not. That's right. Hard to tell. I think the Thunderwolves would delay a game if they had to here. It's hard to tell here. They're trying to get the clarification here. It's almost like they're directly in sync here. I think the Thunderwolves just wait.
And they take him. Minnesota State calls a timeout, Jim.
And they are going to take that timeout right here with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. We'll take one with them. Thunderwolves lead at 10-6 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
They did indeed force Minnesota State to take a timeout there. Oh, they're not forcing it. Minnesota State elected to. Now the Thunderwolves will have to run a 3rd down and 8 call, but now Minnesota State's going to have to run it or call another timeout to make that one worthwhile.
Yep, you run the ball, make them burn one more. Yeah, you'll have to punt into the wind, but...
Well, hell, it could really be a backbreaker if they can somehow pick up a first down here on 3rd and 8. It's a tough spot to be, though, from your own 12-yard line. From the pistol. Edwards takes the snap. Now he's going to run the draw play to Denard. Gets ahead of steam forward. Powering forward. He's going to be just short of the first down. He's out to the 19-yard line. Now Minnesota State does indeed take the timeout with 11 seconds to go. We'll take another one with him. Timeout on the field. Thunderwolves up 10-6 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Well, welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium. Joe and I debating a little bit there. I'm going for it if I'm the Thunderwolves right here.
You're on your
4th and a yard.
Own 19-yard line.
Their last punt went 9 yards, so what do you gain? But they're going to send the punting team out there.
A hellacious wind.
This is confidence. Well, you got to have confidence in this defense. Buddha stands at his own 6-yard line, takes the snap. Gets the punt away, and the wind hits this one. That's the punt he needed last time. He takes a backwards bounce, and it's down at the 33-yard line. Where was that punt when he needed it back the last time? So Minnesota State takes over with 3 seconds to go here from the 34-yard line, but they're in great operating position.
Yeah, you get one play with the wind at your back. One. But the only touchdown score today was into the wind.
Yeah, the basic gamble for the Thunderbolts, had they gone for it, was 1 first down, is basically what the gamble was. But they elected to punt it. So it's first down for the Mavericks from the 34-yard line. They're going to run play action. Schlichty, straight drop back. Here comes pressure. He just dumps it. There's nobody over there. That's got to be grounding. There is no receiver over there. Now the line judge comes in and says, hey, now is he outside the tackle box? And the flag is going to come down. It's grounding. There's nobody over there. So grounding is going to be the call against Minnesota State. And that's the last play of the quarter. So we'll come back after this timeout. We'll sort it all out. Well, let's see. They may be going to go an untimed down here because it's the end of the quarter. But can it be the end of the quarter? I think it is. End of the quarter. So we'll come back after this timeout for the fourth quarter. Thunderbolts on top, 10-6 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Fourth quarter. Getting ready to get set here. Thunderbolts lead at 10-6. They gave up 3 points in that third quarter with Minnesota State operating with the wind. Now they've changed directions, and it's second down now and 23 for the Mavericks. That was a spot foul and loss of down on the intentional grounding play. Trips to the left, single wide out right this time for Minnesota State. Schlichty takes the snap. He gets it off the right side, and Brandon Pear just cleans up that time as they went to Taramina off the right side. No gain. And Brandon Pear, like a missile, coming in there and doing damage.
You know, he's drawn special attention today, Jim, for a reason.
So now it is third down and 23 for the Mavericks here. Just underway, fourth quarter. Thunderbolts on top, 10-6. 2 wideouts left, single wideout right. Schlichty from the gun. Thunderbolts show blitz. Now they'll back out. They still rush 5. Pass it down the middle, and the ball is broken up, and then it drops right in the lap of the receiver.
He caught it.
At the 25-yard line, the ball popped up in the air, and then laying flat on his back, making the catch, is Zylstra.
That's ridiculous.
And then we got injured players on the play because there was a collision that time between 3 players, and a Thunderwolf is injured on the play. Still short of the first. Have they signaled first down?
No.
Here? It's got to be short a yard or 2. I just saw the down marker change to 1, but it's got to be 4th down. So injured player down for the Thunderwolves. Don't quite
Draper.
See who it is here.
It's got to be Tanner Draper.
Again, the pass was broken up. It went straight up in the air and then laying flat on his back. The receiver, Shane Zylstra, just dropped right into his lap. So it's going to be 4th down and a yard now for Minnesota State. And to think that the momentum changer of the game could be that play. And it is Draper. He's up. I would guess concussion protocol is in his future right now.
He's a walking crash test dummy, Jim.
This looks like they're taking him. He's surrounded by about 4 medical personnel over there. Nothing dragging. He's not limping. It's just going to be the shot to the head there. And he has 2 interceptions in this game and almost came up with the big break up there. He actually did break it up, but just luckily bounced into the arms of the receiver.
Well,
Zylstra, 4th and a yard.
With the new quarterback.
And they are going to run it up the middle, and Gunn is hit, but he breaks 3, and he's got the first down inside the, he pushed the pile, continuing to push and shove. And he's going to be down to the 21-yard line. So first down for Minnesota State. Well, Thunderbolts defense just has to recover here. Come up with a stop eventually here in the red zone. Backbreaker of a lucky play there for Minnesota State. They're in business. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Akawa barks signals, gives it left side to Gunn, following blockers, and he's hit, and he's taken down at about the 20-yard line. Tony Croy along with Pear, Sizer, they're all ganging up on that side. They just kind of pushed the line of scrimmage down that way. As Gunn was trying to get around the left side, tried to cut it inside, but he cut it right into traffic. Gain of a yard. It's 2nd down and 9 at the 20. 10-6, Thunderbolts on top, 13:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. Akawa with a gun on his left hip here. Ball's on the left hash, takes the snap, quarterback draw, runs it right into the middle of the field. It opens up. He springs into the secondary. Touchdown, Mavericks! Akawa made the first man miss, and he gets it on into the end zone, and Minnesota State with their first lead of the afternoon. It was a design quarterback draw all the way. Akawa, not even a draw. He just takes a snap, puts his foot in the ground, and gets it right up the middle. Extra point try upcoming here by Bednarski. Ball's down. Kick is up. It is good. Minnesota State takes advantage of their opportunity. They lead it 13-10 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Minnesota State. They get the huge break on 3rd down. Pick up the first down, and then Akawa on the quarterback draw takes it on into the end zone, and they have their first lead of the day.
You know, a great play by Zylstra. Just a concentration. The ball popped up, and he's laying on his back, and the ball lands right in his hands. You got to credit him for that.
Now the Thunderbolts offense a little bit better in that 3rd quarter. They are up to 4 first downs now, and they're over 100 yards total offense. But now it's imperative that they move the ball with the wind here. They got to score to win the ball game. Ball blew off the tee for Bednarski. He gets one more chance here to kick it before, if it blows off again, then they have to get somebody up there to hold it.
Look for like Morgan Smith to catch this ball.
And now official stop play. The ball hadn't blown it. Maybe they saw it moving. Now they bring a man in to hold it. So that takes one less man away from the coverage team. Now the wind blows.
It fell over again.
Come on, guys. You know what, Minnesota State, they're upset. They said, well, you stopped it. It was on there, and I could have kicked it. Now you make me have to have somebody hold it. I can see why they're upset.
It's the little things, Jim, these detailed things.
Bednarski lines up. He's been given the signal to go ahead. He's into it. High kick. Fair catch should be signaled for here by Boyd, and he takes it at the 33-yard line. Zach Boyd didn't panic that time. He took a look, and he said, you know what, I'm going to take the fair catch right here, and he takes it at the 33-yard line. So good field position for the Thunderwolves to start. Taking the kicking ball off the field, and they put the regular ball out there. The Thunderwolves take over at their own 33, trailing for the first time today, 13-10. Edwards up under center, 2 wideouts right. Michi the lone back. Boyd comes in motion, resets on the right side. Fake it. Edwards, straight drop back. Here comes pressure. He's hit, and he gets rid of it late. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Boyd, and he did stay on his feet long enough to avoid the sack. Very fortunate there, indeed, are the Thunderwolves.
Brandon Edwards' mobility is a question mark, Jim, and you got to be able to move around back there a little bit. They're getting good pass rush. They're also blocking their guys into the quarterback. That doesn't help.
2nd down and 10. Fans that are here are jazzed right now. They're up making some noise. 2nd down and 10. Edwards up under center. Brings Boyd in motion to the right side. And they're going to run it this time to Michi. And he gets forward for maybe a yard on the play. Maybe 2 out to the 35. It'll be 3rd down and 8. No time to panic at the moment. Thunderwolves with this win, even if they don't get it here. We saw Tanner Kuda earlier in this game kick one 65 yards. You could pin him deep, but you still want to maximize every opportunity you get. You don't want to have to rely on your defense stopping them.
Well, play clock down to 10.
Taking a long time here. Johnson and Forsgren to the left. Smith and Washington to the right. Now Forsgren lines up on the wrong side. 2 on the play clock. They get the play off just in time. Nope, delay a game. Or do they call timeout?
No, he got delay, and I'll tell you, that was the quickest delay I've ever seen.
Yeah, usually they give you that little half second after it goes to 0. Not today.
Oh, well.
I think that's better than taking the timeout in that situation. I think you take the 5 yards. You don't want to get rid of you might need that timeout later on. It might come in more valuable. So 3rd and 13 makes this 3rd down very tough. Edwards, they just need to give him that extra second here to maybe make a pass deep down the field. They showed blitz. Edwards sets up. Middle screen to Denard. They've got it blocked. Denard, but the man that was on the ground able to get his hand out and get it around Denard's ankle and take him down after a gain of about 4. I think they had what they wanted, Joe, but the guy that got blocked just made a better play. A punt formation for the Thunderwolves. So now Kuda off to come up with one of those specials.
Well schooled is Minnesota State defensively. They knew what that play was. They snipped it out just a second too late, but they still figured it out.
Good snap. Kuda sends it high into the sky. Wynn's got it. It's going to be handled inside the 15. Fair catch is called. Flag comes down, getting an illegal block perhaps here against Minnesota State, so that's going to take it even further back. Fair catch taken at the 15-yard line. Make it the 16, so it'll be half the distance from there. The flag is well up the field here.
It's good arm right there.
Here's the call. Holding on Minnesota State, so that'll mark it half the distance to the goal, back to the 8-yard line, and that's where the Mavericks will start this drive. So now the pressure flips over to the Mavericks, but they do have the lead. Here's where you can imagine, Joe, if somehow you've been able to keep that lead for the Thunderwolves and you put the Mavericks in this kind of situation. This would be ultimate pressure, but now as it is, they have the lead operating from their own 8-yard line. They stay with Ikawa. He's going to run it around the left side, tries to bounce it outside. He's hit in the backfield and goes down. And a good play by Jamal Sears coming off the edge. Going to be a loss of a yard back to the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Sears has been very active today from his safety position. Of course, Thunderwolves going with Garcia now as the other safety as Draper's out of the game. Here on 2nd and 11 for the Mavericks. Ikawa takes a snap. He's going to hand it up the middle to Gunn, and he gets forward for a couple maybe. About to about the 9. So brings up 3rd and long for the Mavericks here. We're down to 10:19 to go here in the 4th quarter. Thunderwolves trailing at 13-10.
See, they can take their time now because they're playing with the lead. Trying to see the sidelines if I could see Tanner Draper. I know he wants to be in there.
Ball on the left hash mark. Taramina is in the ball game to play tailback. Straight drop. Here comes blitz off the edge. They get the middle screen set up to Taramina. Tries to get across the 10, 15. He'll be short of the first down as Brandon Pear along with Sears chase him down. Boy, all the linemen just went to the right that time. They made it easy for him to rush in there, but Akawa stood in there nicely, got the screen delivered. But the Thunderwolves defense recover and make the stop.
Jim, you talk about fakes. Boy, you want to talk about one right now?
Hey, you have any guts? Ribbert stands at the 45-yard line of the Mavericks. Here's the punt. And he gets a booming kick out of there. Ribbert takes it and is hit immediately and goes down back at the Thunderwolves' 47-yard line. Incredible punt that time into that win by Bednarski. Boy, Thunderwolves probably had designs on taking over at about the 40-yard line. Instead, they're back on their own side of the 50. Still great field position, but not as good as they wanted. So now it means they got to get some first downs to be able to get that tying field goal. If you get it on that other side of the field, you can start thinking field goal right away. Still can't abandon the running game here. As Edwards is up under center, Denard is the lone back. Two wideouts to the right, ball on the left hash. Edwards takes the snap. They run the draw play to then down, and then Denard just trips himself and goes down for a 2-yard loss. Just got his feet tangled up that time. Looking to the left side. So it's 2nd down and 12 now for the Thunderwolves. Down to 8:50 to go. Now it gets nervous time here when you're facing 2nd and long. You're behind. Even though you got that wind at your back, you got to make something happen here. You hate to have to rely on bad things to happen to the other team. You want to make some good things happen. From the pistol. Brings Smith in motion to the right side of the formation. Edwards takes the snap, looks right. Now is pressured, and he is going to be hit and sacked. Back at the 43-yard line.
That's not good when all four of your starting 5 offensive linemen are standing 5 yards behind the play.
So now it's 3rd and 13 at the 44-yard line. We're down to 8 minutes to go here. Thunderwolves down 13-10. It's been an incredibly hard day to play offense today for both sides. Trips to the right here for the Thunderwolves. Single wide out left. And again, they've got some confusion on the formation as Smith now has to readjust the left side. Timeout taken by the Thunderwolves.
Yeah, John Riston is not happy. Not happy at all.
7:35 to go here in the 4th quarter. Thunderwolves down 13-10 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Thunderwolves with this chance here with great field position have gone backwards. 2 negative plays. It's 3rd and 13 now from their own 44-yard line. Had to waste a timeout as well.
You know, it's not panic mode, though. I mean, there's still a lot of football game left.
From the pistol. Low snap, Edwards handles it. Here comes middle pressure, steps up, gets the pass away to Denard, puts his head down, hits forward, and he's down to the 45. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down. Thunderwolves got to get the punting team in quickly, I would think. They're trying to, they might go for it. We'll see if Riverboat gambler John Riston will go for it here.
4th and 2 from the 45.
Minnesota State has run their punt team in, and now the Thunderwolves are going to send their punt team out. Got to play field position still at this point with 7 minutes to go.
You know you're going to have one more. You hope you have one more.
And you might get the ball back in better shape than you are right now. High snap. Mankato somehow gets it. Sends it high into the sky. Wind has got it, and it sails way out the back of the end zone. So it means it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Tanner Kuda not electing to roll the dice there and try to maybe just pooch that thing down inside the 20. But then you got to worry about their return man coming up underneath it and maybe making a play. But I think I would have liked to have seen him Put that a little shorter there that time and make them try to field a punt. As it is, it's out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Minnesota State takes over with 6:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. They stay with the Cow. He's had the hot hand here. He's got the touchdown today for the Mavericks. Takes the snap, quarterback draw off the right side, makes a cut, he's hit, and gets forward for a couple on the play. Boy, he runs with reckless abandon, doesn't he, for a quarterback? That's when you hope one time, Joe, he might just turn his back and spin and pop the ball loose.
Definitely not getting clean shots on him, but they're going to take their time now. They're going to run the football.
And we're down to 6:20 to go. Play clock is at 20. So you almost figure each possession is going to take a minimum of 2 minutes. If they go 3 and out twice, you might get 2 more shots, but really, you're only going to rely on 1 more shot here. You got to get the stop first, though. Fake the jet sweep. Pakawa tries to bounce it outside. Here comes, a nice hurdle job as he gets over Taylor, gets forward, but he runs out of bounds. That'll stop the clock momentarily. Out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Taylor flew at him, but somehow Pakawa hurdled him to stay on his feet to keep the play alive.
Yeah, that's a play Emory Taylor has to make.
Now the clock winds with 24 on the play clock, 5:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Thunderbolts down 13-10.
Down to the game if you're Csu-Pueblo defense.
Pakawa barks out the signals. Again, quarterback draw off the left side, gets forward, falls the football! It's loose on the deck! Scoop and score time, maybe? Thunderbolts get it, but they get tackled, but they do get the recovery. And that's what I'm talking about, Joe. You can just see Pakawa. He is careless. Runs with reckless abandon, and he popped the ball loose. He tried it with second effort that time, and the Thunderbolts with a big hit knocked the ball away, and they take over at the 28-yard line. Thought for a moment they might be able to pick it up and run it on in, but the pursuit got there. But now, Thunderbolts get their chance with great field position with 5:24 to go here in the fourth quarter.
This is where the offensive line has to find its last bit of gasp and get some holes.
Double tight end set. Michi the lone back, 2 wideouts to the left. It's Smith and Washington. Edwards up under center. Takes the snap, looks left, pumps. Now he'll run with the ball. Puts his head down, dives inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. They jumped the route over on that left side that time, and Edwards spotted it and pulled the ball down and got forward for 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. That was good recognition.
Well, you know why they jumped that route, Jim? Because they run that play 10 times a game. We've called it.
Yeah.
12 games this year. It's a very favorite play of Dave Brown in the offense.
So it's 2nd and 6 now for the Pack from the 24-yard line. They're in field goal range, but they want more. Edwards up under center.
You can't count on a field goal in this weather, even with the wind behind you.
Draw play to Michi, trying to get around the edge. Right side, he turns the corner, but he's hit late and gets forward for maybe a couple on the play. Just didn't have enough speed to turn the corner, and that's a pretty good play by their safety flying over there, Corey Brent. And Michi hurt on the play. I don't think Michi expected to get hit that hard when he thought he was going to get the corner, and he is down at the 22-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 when we come back after this injury timeout. 4:32 to go here in the fourth quarter. Thunderwolves trail it by 3 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
4:32 to go. Crowd to their feet here as it's 3rd and 4 for the Thunderbolts. Michi up under his own power, runs to the opposite sideline. Edwards up under center. Bernard alone back. Boyd in motion to the left side. Resets. They're going to give it to Marche out the left side. Puts his head down. Powers his way forward for the first down, and he's just caved in. The defensive back coming up to stop him. And Denard has the first down for the Pack, down to the 17-yard line. Whoa, what a run.
Might have been the hardest he's hit anybody ever.
So it's 1st and 10, Pack at the 17-yard line. Clock rolls. We're down to 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Thunderbolts trail it 13-10. Edwards up under center. 2 wide outs to the left. It's Smith and Washington. Denard the lone back. Boyd in motion to the left side. Resets.
Same formation.
Marche up the middle. Makes a little adjustment, and again, powering his way forward down inside the 10. Well, they're going to mark him down at the 10 where his knee hit. A gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Boy, this is setting up right now beautifully for the Thunderwolves. Just keep running it.
You know, I've never seen so many coaches try and implore the fans, the home side fans, to cheer.
2nd and 3. Again, up under center. 2 wide outs to the right side this time. Edwards takes it, gives it to Denard. Up the middle, makes the adjustment, tries to bounce forward. He's going to be about a yard short, I think, of the first down. He's down to about the 8. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, that might not be so bad. Gives you a shot at it here on 3rd and 1. Down to 2:55 to go here in the 4th quarter.
This is where you go for the Bush push. Where you hope that 5 senior offensive front can get you 1 yard.
Yeah, you got to be able to get a yard here. Same formation, right in the middle of the field. 2 wide outs right. Edwards takes the snap. Marche up the middle. He's hit immediately and bounced backwards. They're going to have to try the field goal. He loses 2 on the play. They caved in the right side of the offensive line of the Thunderwolves that time. So the field goal team is out. Clock rolling. We're down to 2:15 to go. Thunderwolves need to hurry this up a little bit here. Be a 27-yard attempt. Ball on the right hash mark. They're going to spot it at the 17. Forsgren is the holder. Mitch Carter for the tie right here. Good snap. Ball's down. Kick is up. And it is good. 1:48 to go in the 4th quarter. We're all tied up at 13 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Thunderwolves take advantage of the turnover. 18 yards and 7 plays, settle for the field goal, but it ties the game up. And now, with 1:48 to go, Thunderwolves still have 2 timeouts left. If you can pin Minnesota State deep here, they're going to be under a lot of pressure to try to move the ball. You might get the ball back one more time.
Well, Mitch Carter needs to kick this ball as far and as hard as he can.
They do not want to risk any type of return here whatsoever. He's into it.
And he does.
And it goes out the back of the end zone. So Minnesota State will take over at their own 25-yard line here. Minnesota State, now remember, they used up 2 timeouts late in the 3rd quarter to force the Thunderwolves to punt into the wind. So they only have 1 left. Thunderwolves have 2. Minnesota State right now, first things first, Joe, they have to be thinking, we got to get a first down somehow.
Yeah, 1 first down gets
the game into overtime. Thunderwolves thinking a 3 and out, use their timeouts, make them punt into the wind, maybe get 1 more shot at it. They're going to switch up quarterbacks. They're going back to Schlichty this time. Send a man in motion to the right side. They're going to run the jet sweep around the right side. Thunderwolves have it sniffed out, though, and it goes for a gain of about 2 on the play.
A call timeout? No?
Thunderwolves, I think, won't use it here. I think they'll use it after the next 2 plays. I think Thunderwolves will take overtime as a last resort here as well at this point. So they won't take the timeout here. Play clock down to 20. 1:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. All tied up at 13 apiece. First round NCAA playoff game.
Darius Williams on
in the gun. Schlichty hands it the gun, and he's hitting the backfield. Rosenbrock makes the stop for the loss. Now the Thunderwolves take a timeout. 1 minute to go. All tied up at 13 apiece on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
3rd down and 11 upcoming here for Minnesota State.
I see Draper, but he doesn't have his helmet, which is
that means
that tells you
he's dinged.
But he's over there talking to Jaden Garcia like, look, this is what they're going to do. And if you know Tanner Draper, he doesn't have to come out of his shell.
Exactly. It's like the side judge is talking to him. Said, Tanner, are you okay?
Yeah. But he doesn't have his helmet, and that's
it's self-preservation mode by the team. He's right up there with his teammates cheering on the sideline. 3rd and 11 here for the Mavericks from their own 24-yard line. Schlichte from the gun. Takes the snap. They're going to run it to Gunn around the left side. Thunderwolves get great penetration and stop him for a gain of a yard. And now the Thunderwolves will take the timeout. Thunderwolves ripped the ball out, but it was well after the whistle blew. So 55 seconds to go, and now an important punt for Minnesota State into the wind. We'll take another timeout. Thunderwolves and the Mavericks tied at 13 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Well, it's come down to this. 4th down and 10 for the Mavericks. 56 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. Rivers will stand at his own 42-yard line to receive the punt here by Bednarski.
Now remember, he's got a great leg. Wind or no wind, he's got a great leg. He gets some air in it, but you just got to stay away from the ball if it gets a little squirrely.
It's a good snap.
There is no rush.
Kick is away, high spiraling kick. Fair catch signaled for and taken at the 37-yard line. Great job there by Bednarski. But the Thunderwolves have some time to operate here with 49 seconds to go. They're going to spot it at the 36. Now they move it forward to the 37.
I don't know that was 11 seconds of hang time. But Mitch Carter's got a long of 49, I believe.
Yeah, and you got the wings. You got to figure you could probably hit one, but it's so cold. I don't know if you add much more to it. You got to get about 30 yards here. Well, at least 30. 30 puts you at the 33.
But he also kicks it 4,700 feet.
Edwards up under center here. Edwards takes the snap, play action, going to roll the pocket left. Sets, got a deep out to Rivers, throws it away. Too high. He had Rivers open there, but he just put too much air under it. But again, as we talked about, it's almost as difficult throwing it with the wind sometimes when you have all that carry on it.
This is, Brandon Edwards, quarterbacks, they have certain chemistries, and Brandon Edwards' chemistries, to me, is with O'Shea. O'Shea Washington. So look for number 7 to get a couple balls thrown his way. That might not be a bad time for a screen, too.
Get a little pump and go maybe to Amon Johnson up this right sideline, too. Get a guy to bite.
Well, they're playing so deep in cover 2 that the middle's going to be wide open.
Edwards straight drop back, looks left, fires left, incomplete. Boy, he just threw a grounder that time, trying to get it to Boyd out on the left side, and now you're just thinking about getting it to overtime.
And you run the ball and punt it and call it good.
Minnesota State does have one timeout left. Fans coming to their feet here. Johnson going to line up wide to the right. Smith wide to the left. O'Shea is in the slot to the left. From the pistol, Denard is the lone back. Edwards fumbles the snap, now picks it up. He's in trouble, gets forward. He's got a little bit of time here. Gets away, looks up now, fires it down the middle of the field, throws it almost in the way of an interception. Bad decision there. Should have been picked off, really, by Corey Brent.
Well, they're looking to see if he was beyond the line of scrimmage, and he was close.
Yeah, flag is down. He might be a yard beyond it.
Could have run for the first down. That's a loss of down.
Yeah, flag is down right below us here at the 38-yard line. Line of scrimmage was at the 37. So a 5-yard penalty plus loss of down. 31 seconds to go. Thunderwolves will have to punt the ball away.
Jim, he's lucky that ball wasn't picked off.
Should have been.
That was just bad. It was a bad decision.
So now Kuda.
There's also a problem. I don't know if something happened to Tomlinson, but standing over that ball to snap the
Morgan
ball
Smith, wasn't it?
Was Morgan Smith.
Oh, man, that's a wild card, isn't it? taken here by Minnesota State right now. We'll keep it right here, Joe. Just talk things over here. I guess the main thing for the Thunderwolves is the snap, and we just found out that Morgan Smith is going to be snapping the ball here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Andrew Tomlinson, unless he got dinged up earlier.
And that makes you wonder if we do go into overtime, having to hit a field goal, and I mean, there's all kinds of things.
But I don't know who was the snapper on the last field goal. That could have been Morgan Smith. I'm not sure. I mean, you don't normally check things like that, but
there's a lot of pressure on this one. You got to get it back there. You know they're going to send the house, I would think, because it's 4th and 14. Even if they pick up a roughing, who cares? They're going to go for it and try to block this punt. I think that's why they called the timeout. They don't even have a man deep. They're going to rush 11, it looks like, here, and just go for it. Try to block this punt. If you had any guts here, you'd have Tanner Kuda hold it for a second and just lob a pass down the middle. That's a lot of guts, though, Joe. Now they're running a man deep. Kuda gets the snap, gets the kick away. Angles it toward the sideline, and now it bounces out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. 24 seconds to go now, so still chance for some desperation here for Minnesota State, but looks like we're headed to overtime.
That was as good a punt as you'll get under the circumstances with a backup punter or backup snapper. You wonder when you call Andrew Tomlinson, if you don't ever call his name, it's a great thing because he's the long snapper, but when he's not in there, I don't see him on the bench. But I know he was in the hotel. I saw him earlier this morning.
Minnesota State not even going to mess around. They're going right out to victory formation. What they hope the victory will be in overtime, because they're just going to snap it, take a knee, and call it good, and we'll go to overtime. So they take that knee. Now we'll have the little 3-minute delay. We'll have the captains come out. I think the captains come out first, then they go into the 3-minute rest period. So, Caitlin, just play it by ear here with me here. I'll walk us through it here for overtime. Overtime in college football, both teams get a possession from the 25-yard line. And if they make a first down, then, of course, it's played under regular rules. But if you're on defense first, you make a stop, the next team that scores can win. If both teams score, then you just keep on going if you match scores. After, I think it's the third overtime, that's when after the first 2 overtimes played under conventional, and the third overtime, then you have to start going for 2 after you score a touchdown. I get the feeling this one's going to, I don't know, first team to score a touchdown obviously is going to be a big-time advantage here in this overtime. We'll see which direction they choose, too, because the team that wins the toss, they're obviously going to go on defense first. Then the other team will have the decision which way to go. You want to be on defense first. The captain's starting to make their way toward the middle of the field, at least Minnesota State is. I thought the captains had to come out right away, but they're actually almost like we're in delay mode right here. But I don't want to go away here because this is pretty important. We've got all kinds of time in the post-game show to make up spots if we have to. Captains still mingling down below us here for Minnesota State. Thunderwolves look like they're going to come out as a team. They're sending their 3 captains out, and the rest of them are going to walk out about 10 yards out on the field, out onto the numbers.
Well, that's how they do all coin tosses.
There it is, the all-important coin toss here. You want to win the toss and go on defense first. That's the choice you want to make, because then you have the choice after you see what the other team does. That's why you want to play defense first.
Heck of a football game so far, Jim. In the conditions, playoff game, 2 teams that respect each other.
Apologize, we do not have a referee mic today. Talking it over.
Csu-Pueblo go on defense.
Yep, Csu-Pueblo wins the toss, so they'll go on defense first. And Minnesota State wants to play into the wind. It's interesting decision. Maybe they feel like their offense can operate better into the wind than the Thunderwolves offense can. That's an interesting decision. So there's the decision. It's been made. So Minnesota State will go on offense first. And once again, it starts from the 25-yard line. Captain's shaking hands at midfield. Not going to mess around any. I'm going to go right down and get it going here.
You know why? Because it's cold.
Exactly. If the defense happens to force a turnover and say run it back for a touchdown, game's over. That's the other thing that could happen here in overtime.
Well, this plays into the strength of Minnesota State right now because they're such a power running team. Gunn in the backfield now with Schlichty. Those scenarios are off. You're just trying to play power football now. This is power on power, run game versus run defense.
Schlichty from the gun. Gunn on his left hip. Wide out to each side. Schlichty takes the snap, gives it to Gunn off the right side. He's hit down for a gain of about 3. Croy on the stop. Down to the 22-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 13-13 our score. We're in overtime. First possession of overtime. Minnesota State with the ball. Moving right to left as we look at it. Into the wind here.
Gunn out now.
This looks like that left shoulder laying a little low there. I'm not sure what his injury was coming into the game. They're very secretive around here. So that means Taramina into the ball game. He's on the right hip of Schlichty this time on 2nd and 7. And he's going to take the handoff, wedges his way forward, just gets as much as he can inside the 20 down to about the 19. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Size are slow to get up, but his teammates are not letting him.
Yeah, they're saying, you got to get up, buddy. Don't lay there.
You got to take the middle and just... When you're the starting nose tackle in overtime...
You've been involved in a lot of train wrecks all game long, haven't you?
Dion, just...
3rd and 4 for the Mavericks. From the gun, Schlichty has 2 wideouts to the left. Takes the snap. He's going to give it to Taramina off the right side, and it's collapsed on the right side for a loss of a yard. Thunderwolves defense read that one beautifully as they crashed on that left side, and it was Sizer and Croy on the bottom of the pile, along with, looked like Vandekoppel came up from his linebacker position. So field goal attempt here.
37 yards into the teeth.
So Bednarski from the 27-yard line, ball on the right hash mark. 37-yard kick into the wind. Good snap. Ball's down. Kick is on the way.
He missed it.
And the wind blew it back in.
Holy cow.
That ball was right of the uprights, and it hung up in the air, and it looked like the wind just kind of gently caressed it inside the right upright. Unbelievable.
That's home field advantage because he knew exactly where to kick that. That wind pushed it back in to the inside of the upright. What a great kick.
So that puts them on top, 16-13. Now they go on defense. Thunderwolves could score a touchdown and win the ball game. Thunderwolves' lone touchdown today. Game going into the wind. Back in the second quarter. They start off at the 25 in overtime. Ball's on the right hash mark. Now the thing that kills you is any negative play. You just got to keep going forward here. Fans to their feet. They know their defense could win the ball game here with a stop. Marche off the right side. Tries to turn the corner. Busts free for a moment. Gets for a couple of yards that time. He scored it out of the pile at the line of the scrimmage. Gets down to about the 23-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Boy, after seeing that last field goal attempt, you don't want to be having to try one to tie it from this spot on the field, that's for sure.
That was a great kick. It just really was. That ball had to be 3 yards wide of the upright, and the wind blew it back.
2nd down and 7 from the 22-yard line. They gave Marche a pretty generous spot there. Smith wide to the left. O'Shea in the slot to the left. Edwards up under center. Takes the snap. Marche out the left side. They've got good penetration. He breaks a tackle, gets it back to the line of scrimmage is all. So now it is 3rd and 7. Thunderwolves are up against it here. Their season on the line here in overtime. Loss of a yard. They're going to spot it at the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Thunderwolves have one play in them here. They could maybe spring a pass play for a touchdown right here. Johnson to the left. Smith and Washington to the right. From the pistol. Edwards takes the snap. Rolls the pocket right. Gets the pass away. Going for Washington, and it's broken up. 4th down. Now the Thunderwolves with the decision. Do they try the field goal?
You have to. You got to let Mitch Carter try it. It's a long one. It's going to
be a 40-yarder into the wind. This is just an incredibly hard field goal attempt here. I can't explain how hard it is. Into this wind. They'll spot it right in the middle of the field.
It is Morgan Smith that's snapping.
Forsgren to Holder. The ball's down. Kick is on the way. And it's going to go wide. And Minnesota State has won the ball game. They win it in overtime off the missed field goal. 16-13, the final. Minnesota State, they'll advance in the NCAA tournament. Back with a post-game show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Well, some days you get the breaks and some days you don't. Thunderwolves drop it here in overtime, 16-13. On an incredibly hard day to play football here today, in particular to pass it and particularly to kick it. But all the credit in the world has to go to Casey Bednarski as he was able to hit the field goal in overtime into this wind. And to try to describe the way his kick went in, it was wide to the right, much the way Mitch Carter's was. But the wind blew Mitch Carter's down, straight down to the right, and somehow Bednarski's kind of hung in the air, and then the wind kind of blew it through the uprights to the left. It went through. And then you think back to the drive that got Minnesota State their touchdown. It was on a pass play that was broken up by Draper. The ball went straight up into the air and landed in the arms of their wide receiver, Shane Zylstra, who was just laying flat on his back, and the ball dropped into his hands. That led to Minnesota State's touchdown that got the game, it got them in the lead at 13-10. Thunderwolves eventually tied, sent it to overtime, but they go down to defeat here in overtime, 16-13. A whale of a ball game, a defensive struggle here today in Mankato. We'll come back with more of our post-game show right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Welcome back. Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota. Thunderwolves go down to defeat today 16-13 in overtime, and that score, everything about it, just tells you what a whale of a ball game we had today. Maybe not a lot of points, but it was had a lot of drama, a lot of strategy, and a lot of quirky plays, a lot of crazy plays, and it ends up going against the Thunderwolves. But we'll go ahead and go to our highlight package here. We only do touchdowns. Maybe today we should have done field goals because that was the kind of game it was. But the Thunderwolves got on the board first. Mitchell Carter, a 45-yard field goal. Any field goal today was a monumental task. Let me just tell you. And he hit a field goal in the first half from 45 yards, kicking with the wind. And the wind was not only just at his back, but it was kind of quartering. So you had to play kind of these fades and hooks all day with these kicks. And Mitchell Carter got that one through the uprights early on, and the Thunderwolves led it 3-0. Then they got an early big break in the ball game as Tanner Draper came up with one of his 2 interceptions during the game, set the Thunderwolves up in good shape at the 18-yard line of Minnesota State. They were operating into the the win. They faced a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line, and it was the little man to take it on in. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Edwards up under center. Michi the lone back. Boyd in motion to the right side. Resets. They give it to Michi off the right side. He's got the touchdown. Joe Cervi wants to be a play-by-play man in his dreams. But anyway, on the right side, Zach Boyd just caved it in. Huge hole for Michi, and he took it on into the end zone. The extra point was good, and at that point, Thunderwolves were in good shape. They were up 10-0. But late in the first half, Thunderwolves, their defense was playing well, but they were operating into the wind in the second quarter, and eventually, once in a while, you're going to just punt it in that wind and get nothing out of it. And the Minnesota State took over in great shape, deep in Thunderwolves territory. But they faced a 3rd down and 10. A roughing the passer penalty call on the Thunderwolves, though, gave the drive new life. If they had stopped in there at 3rd and 10, it would have been a 50-yard attempt by Bednarski. He's got the leg for it, but again, as we mentioned, the wind away, it was quartering today. It would have been a hellacious attempt at a field goal. But the Thunderwolves penalty gave them new life. They eventually moved it down to the 10-yard line. They fumbled on 3rd down. Ball was loose on the deck, but one of those fortunate plays for Minnesota State, they were able to somehow get the fumble recovery. They lined up for a field goal and hit it, and that made it 10-3 as we went into the locker room. And we came out in the 3rd quarter, and immediately Minnesota State able to take advantage of some good field position early on, but they had to settle for another field goal. Again, it was Bednarski, this time from 30 yards out to hit the field goal. Made it 10-6 with 9:08 to go in the 3rd quarter. Thunderwolves offense then got a couple of first downs, able to get some yardage, and force Minnesota State into some problems. But again, they were able to move it a little bit, and then they faced a 3rd down and 24 in Thunderwolves territory. They dropped back to pass. Thunderwolves broke up the pass. The ball went straight up in the air, but somehow came right down into the arms of their wide receiver, Zylstra. His only catch of the day. He's a player of the year in their conference. One catch for 22 yards on the day, but it was one that he had no business catching, but the ball was broken up. He was laying flat on his back, and the ball dropped right down into his lap for the completion. They would complete the next play, get the 4th down conversion on 4th and a yard. Eventually, their backup quarterback, Akawa, would go in from 22 yards out on a beautiful little quarterback draw off the left side. The extra point was good, and at that point, well, I guess we should hear that play, the touchdown by Akawa. 2nd down and 9 at the 20. 10-6, Thunderwolves on top, 13:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. Akawa with a gun on his left hip here. Ball's on the left hash, takes the snap, quarterback draw, runs it right into the middle of the field. It opens up, he springs into the secondary, touchdown, Mavericks! And it was just a beautiful run by Akawa, and I called it a quarterback draw, but more or less he just took the direct snap and immediately made the decision to go right up into the middle. He sprung into the secondary, and the Thunderwolves couldn't get him down, and the extra point was good, made it 13-10 at that point. Minnesota State on top. Thunderwolves then had a couple of chances in the 4th quarter on offense, couldn't do anything with it. They had to just keep punting the football away and have their defense keep stopping Minnesota State, but then eventually they would get the big break they needed. They forced a fumble as Akawa coughed it up at the 28-yard line. Thunderwolves took over, were able to get a first down, faced a 3rd down and 1 from the 8. And what really turns out to be probably the key play of the game for Minnesota State. They come up with a stop on 3rd and 1, force a 2-yard loss. It forces the field goal by Mitch Carter. He hits it to tie the game up at 13 apiece. But that would then game would go into overtime. And Minnesota State, I thought, made a great decision. Thunderwolves won the toss. You always want to go on defense if you win the toss in overtime. But Minnesota State probably felt like they had a little bit of an advantage in the kicking game with their kicker. He's got a very strong leg. And they probably decided, hey, if it's going to come down to a field goal, we want to be kicking it into the wind because our guy's better into the wind. That's had to be their mentality. And they were stopped. Thunderwolves made a good stop on defense, and they lined up for a 37-yard field goal. And I want to tell you, folks, the best way I can describe it, I'm doing the video here, but say the uprights are like this. The ball was out here. and it hooked at the last minute in. It was incredible. It was one of the most incredible kicks you ever want to see. As it dived in the upright, it was good. That gave them the lead 16-13 in overtime. Thunderwolves then would come back on their possession in overtime. They were stalled out. They were only able to get a couple of yards. They brought in Mitch Carter. The thing they had to do, they had to try the field goal. And Mitch lined up, and he banged into it, hit it good, but it got right to about 5 yards from the upright, and then the wind just took it and knocked it straight down to the right. And it fell no good, and that ended the ball game. That's the way it ended in overtime, and Minnesota State wins it 16-13. We thank Caitlin Norton for compiling our highlights. We'll come back. We'll give you the numbers from today's ball game. It all comes your way next. Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota, on the campus of Minnesota State University. Thunderwolves fall in overtime today, 16-13 to the home team. Minnesota State wins it. The numbers from today's ball game: they had 14 first down. Thunderwolves only with 5 first downs all day long. 156 on the ground, 98 through the air, 254 yards in total offense for Minnesota State. Thunderwolves 78 on the ground, 71 through the air, 149 yards in total offense. Time of possession 32-33 for Minnesota State. Thunderwolves 27 of 27. Third downs today: Minnesota State 2 of 17. Thunderwolves 4 of 17. It was a defensive struggle. Minnesota State today 3 of 4 though on fourth down. Thunderwolves were 0 for 1 in the red zone. Minnesota State 4 for 4. Thunderwolves were 2 for 2. The individual numbers today: Nate Gunn, 34 carries, 103 yards. There's a question whether he would play today. He'd missed the last 3 regular season games, but he was out there today, looked strong. Taramina, 8 carries for 24 yards. Ikawa, 7 carries for 20, but most important were 20 on a touchdown run, which got them ahead in the ball game. Schlichty, 6 carries for 7. He was sacked on 3 occasions today. For the Thunderwolves, Marche Denard, 19 carries, 57 yards. Michi, 10 carries for 23. Edwards, 3 for -1. Edwards was sacked twice in the ball game. Schlichty, 5 of 13, had 2 picks, 69 yards, was sacked 3 times. Ikawa, 2 of 5 for 29 yards. Edwards today, 10 of 18, no interceptions, 64 yards. He was sacked twice. Rex Dowson played the first quarter of this game, but he met his demise when he threw a late first quarter interception, got taken out of the ball game. Only 1 of 6 for 1 pick, 7-yard completion. Nissen, 3 for 52. Dennis, 2 for 17. Zylstra caught 1 for 22, but it was a crucial one laying on the back of his, just flat on his back, and he caught the ball after the ball was deflected on a 3rd down and 23 call. Made the grab. It eventually led to their touchdown later on. Taramino, 1 catch for 7. O'Shea Washington, 5 for 19. Forsgren, 2 for 24. Denard, 2 for 17. Smith, 1 for 7. Defensive numbers today: Crystal had 11 tackles. Brent with 8, Moore with 7, Palme with 5. Josh Croy led the way for the Thunderwolves with 12. Rosenbrock and Payer with 11. How about Kyle Rosenbrock today? What a game he had. Sizer with 8. Final score: Minnesota State wins it 16-13. We'll come back with a scoreboard right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota, on the campus of Minnesota State University. The home team, the victors today, as they win it in overtime over the Thunderwolves. Final score 16-13. Thunderwolves led it once in the ball game, 10-0, but it was just that kind of game. We knew it would come down to the end. It just had that feeling all day long, even going into the ball game. And then when you saw the weather conditions here today, which were brutal to try to play offense, the defenses rose to the occasion, and they made 1 extra kick. Is basically what it comes down to. Let's look at the scores from around the country. Division II, some competitive games and some not so competitive ball games today. They have some upsets as well. Ferris State knocks off Washita Baptist 24-19. Finley knocks off previously 4th-ranked Shepherd 29-17. There's one upset for you. Long live the King. The King is dead. Northwest Missouri, they lose today to Ashland 21-18. The 2-time defending Division II champion goes down to defeat, so there'll be a new king this year. Westchester they pull off an upset. They go on the road and defeat Shippensburg today, 27-6. Assumption defeats California, 40-31. Fourth quarter score, Delta State, another road team, leading over Bowie State today, 45-35. Second quarter score, Harding leads UIndy 14-10. Of course, the final here, Minnesota State defeating Csu-Pueblo. West Georgia, another road team that the Thunderwolves are very familiar with, the team they beat in the semifinals in 2014. West Georgia. Some people thought they shouldn't be in the tournament. They had 3 losses, but they made it in, and they make it pay today. They win over Virginia State, 35-9. Another road team, West Florida, defeats Wingate. Shellacked them, 31-0, the final there. Minnesota State gets the winner of this game as Sioux Falls leads Midwestern State 17-14. Third quarter score there. Another third quarter score in the region. Texas A&M Commerce leads Winona State 17-3. Go into FBS ball games today. Let's give you what's in progress right now. Oklahoma leads Kansas early on 7-0. K-State and Oklahoma State tied in the first quarter 7 apiece. Notre Dame's got an early field goal. They lead Navy 3-0. Georgia trails Kentucky early first quarter 3-0 there. Ohio State with a couple first quarter touchdowns leads Illinois 14-0. Memphis and FMU are in a weather delay right now in Memphis. Memphis leads at 52-38. Miami of Florida comes back with 16 late points and defeat Virginia 44-28. That game was tied at 28 late in the third quarter. Mississippi State defeats Arkansas 28-21. Auburn over Louisiana Monroe 42-14. They'll take on Alabama next week, who was a 56-0 winner over Mercer. Central Florida defeats Temple 45-19. Northwestern over Minnesota 39-0. TCU over Texas Tech 27-3. Wisconsin comes back and defeats Michigan 24-10. They trailed early on in that ball game, 10-7, but they come back and win it. Clemson over the Citadel 61-3. Penn State leads Nebraska 7-0 early first quarter. Michigan State and Maryland later, along with a host of other games. Probably the headliner tonight be UCLA at USC. The battle for the bragging rights of Los Angeles. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. We'll wrap up our football season here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Get you update on what we're going to be doing next week and in the weeks to come right here. After this timeout, Thunderwolves go down to defeat 16-13 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Blakeslee Stadium here in Mankato, Minnesota. Here on the campus of Minnesota State University. Thunderwolves season ends today as they drop it in overtime, 16-13 to the home team, Minnesota State Mavericks. And the wind whipping around here, blowing papers everywhere. It's that kind of day. And they've taken down all the banners across the way that kind of remind you how hard the wind is blowing here today. But the little paper mache things are up on the goalpost still. And it is a howling mess out there today in Mankato, Minnesota. Tough day for the Thunderwolves. They end their season 9-3, but another Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference title under their belt, and they'll be back at it better than ever next year right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Time now to tell you what else going on today. Failed to mention, got a couple high school updates to give you right now. Pueblo West trails at halftime to Chatfield 14-7. South with an early lead, 21-0. On the road against Vista Ridge. So what that says is Joe Cervi and my football season not quite over yet. If South wins, we'll be doing a TV game next Saturday. So not all is lost today for football on the gridiron for yours truly along with Joe Cervi. But we'll talk about that later. We still have one more broadcast of CSU-Pueblo football. It's not a game, but it'll be the Car Pros John Riston Show. We thank Car Pros all season long for bringing you the John Riston Show, and especially at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. And come on out and celebrate a fine season, another great season for the Thunderwolves. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but at the end of the year, it only ends the way one team wants it to, doesn't it? But the Thunderwolves had some great moments along the way, and we'll celebrate those Wednesday night. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House for the Car Pros John Riston Show. Well, people to thank, of course, here at Minnesota State. Got to meet these guys last night, and it was a grand time. We went to the hockey game last night, and we got tickets courtesy of the sports information staff here at Minnesota State, and they treated us great. Of course, our sports information Norton guy, Dax Larson, is a alum of Minnesota State, so he knew all these guys, and they took care of us. And, of course, I'm talking about Paul Allen. He's the head man in charge, and his assistant is Nick Burns. And we thank them for everything they did for us this weekend, getting these games on the air. We had a little problem late in the first half. It was of our doing. Joe unplugged our internet cable, if you can believe it or not, down to our right here. They don't have the greatest facilities to work with here for football, but they do the best of what they can, as this is a hockey school. Make no mistake about it. But again, we thank the sports information staff here, Paul Allen and Nick Burns. Assistant Athletic Director in charge of media relations at Csu-Pueblo is Dax Larson. His assistant is Sean Pooley. Head on out to Masari Arena tonight. See the Thunderwolves in action in the second round of the Alkali Shriners basketball tournament tonight. You can watch the action as well on the GoThunderwolves.com stretch internet feed. So we hope you will do that. We'll have Broncos football for you tomorrow here on AM 1350 as they take on the Bengals. It'll be a 12:05 pregame, 2:25 kickoff from Mile High right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Caitlin Norton has been our producer and engineer of Thunderwolves football all season long. We're not quite ready to announce officially we're going to be doing basketball, but we think it's like 90% sure that basketball will be back on the air here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Send those cards and letters to iHeartMedia and to Csu-Pueblo. They got to come together. They got a few things to iron out, but hopefully we'll be back on the air on December 1st with college basketball as Fort Lewis. What an opponent that will come into town in Masari Arena for the first game of the conference season. But that would be our first broadcast if indeed we get it pulled off, and I think we will. But again, thanks to Caitlin Norton. My partner all year long has been Joe Cervi, and just can't do it without him. It's been a great run we've had. And special thanks, of course, to all of you, the fans, that tune in each and every week to Thunderwolves football right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. And again, one more reminder, it's not over. Come out and join us and celebrate the season at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House for that Car Pros John Riston show on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. I'm Jim Brooks. Once again, thanks to everybody. Thanks for enjoying another fine season of Thunderwolves football. We're going to go hop in the car, head to the airport, and fly on in. We'll be in town probably around 10 o'clock tonight back at the Thunder Bowl, but hope there's a nice party there greeting the Thunderwolves. Your loved ones, come on out and greet the Thunderwolves after another fine season. Till we talk to you again down the line and on Wednesday night, this is Jim Brooks bidding you good afternoon from Mankato, Minnesota.
This has been Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves football on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350. Catch all the action all season long right here on the home for all things Csu-Pueblo Thunderwolves athletics. Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.